Okay.
Okay, we're live, so just do the countdown.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of Critical Mass with me, your host, Rob. And yes, you hear it, guys? I got the song done.
I'm more surprised you got the audio working.
Dude, that song was fucking bitching. I was in there headbanging.
Yeah, I saw you, dude. I saw you, Joe. Thank you, man. That's a compliment, bro. When anybody fucking bangs their head to something I wrote. Yeah, that's actually so it's a song from my upcoming album, and the song's called Black Pill. that's the name of the song. It's called Black Pill.
Hell yeah.
So what I did was I took like the 3 or 4 sections of the song and I re-recorded it specifically to use as my intro music. But thanks, man. I appreciate it, bro. So listen, welcome to Critical Mass with me, Rob, your host, and I have 3 of my brothers on stage, and we're gonna bring you guys some information tonight that nobody's ever heard. I'm gonna talk about my perspective and my involvement in the December 12th rally, and I'm gonna say things tonight that I've never talked about with anybody. Other than 1 or 2 people who have been close in my life in the real world. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for me to talk about. It's hard for me to know that what we're going to be talking about, who we're going to be talking about. And this is more than just about J6. This is about the government colluding with somebody who was a brother to bring down our organization and put my friends and my brothers in prison for decades. And what you guys are going to hear tonight will change your opinion because most people don't know what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about something specifically called the MOSD, which is the Ministry of Self-Defense, which I was a part of, and how that basically screwed these 3 men that are on stage with me right now. And one more story about something that only Enrique knows about. So with that, I want to open it up and say, brothers, welcome. Thank you guys for coming on my show. Thank you guys for listen. Ethan, I heard you, bro, and we all want this to be done. And it's just it's so tiring. But with the government, what they're doing today, with them trying to fucking get rid of the lawsuit, You know, I don't think there's a better time to actually talk about this and get it in front of people and have people have a true understanding of what the fuck actually happened. Enrique, what's up, brother? Joe, what's up? Ethan, what's up?
What's up, guys? Happy
What's
to
up,
be
proud
here.
of your boy?
Proud of your boy.
Boy.
What's going on?
What's up?
See, I brought my name back from the original video that we did.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
hated one.
Yeah. I should have changed it to that. I can't remember what the fuck I put on there. I think it just said Enrique Tario.
I'm not gonna say. It's,
Noble something. It's always
Oh man, but it's good to be here. We had a show earlier where we were talking about some of these things. I got some clips after we go through this timeline. I got some clips ready from the interview that we're getting ready to air tomorrow. So,
Do you want to start by telling people about that, or you want to wait till we give them all this information so they really want to go and see this fucking interview?
no, let's go through the timeline because I think a lot of people, obviously everybody knows, and in the green room we're talking about it, and me and Ethan had said it when we first started the Warboy Studios. We're like, let's try to stay away from J6 as much as possible. And obviously it's a recurring theme because it continues to happen, and there's a lot of things that are left unfinished, right? Like two people on here have not been pardoned, right? And that's first and foremost, right? Which they should be pardoned. And hopefully the interview tomorrow plus Jeremy's statements in deposition and his his not public, but his affidavit, his signed and notarized affidavit brings that. And that's like the main concern. Like after that, you know what? I don't care what happens. I don't care. I really don't. So, but yeah, I'll have those clips at the end of the timeline.
Well, where do you want to start, brother?
Okay, so
Portland.
I guess this story starts in Portland, and it starts with me, Biggs, and Ethan, right? And I think Biggs can speak to like how we used psychological ops when we would go to these things in order to keep like our guys safe, right?
yeah,
Biggs, you want to touch on that?
yeah. So what we do is we watch what the enemy does. My favorite quote is "Know your enemy." So what we do is we watch how these people are. We watch what triggers them, and then what we do is we do an online campaign, and we really start getting them fucking pissed off, angry, heated up. So when we do show up or don't show up, they act like fools, and we just sit there and we act like behaved young men. We act like gentlemen, and we keep our hands to ourselves, and we give the world an opportunity to see just how dangerous and radical Antifa is, and then it also exposed the fact that the police and the federal government at the time were not doing anything to stop that stuff from happening. They would sit back and allow it to happen. So we learned how to maximize propaganda and psychological warfare and things like that to kind of draw Antifa out, get them to act ridiculous, and then step back and be like, look, everybody, like, this is what we're talking about. Like, this is why we're upset. It shouldn't take a bunch of autistic, retards who run a men's club who can't even get a Taco Bell order right to come into your city and help clean it up. And the Portland police, they're fucking scum. They're a bunch of, I don't know. They're corrupt and they have no soul. They don't give a shit about the oath they've taken. At the time, the mayor of Portland, Ted Wheeler, that guy was corrupt, didn't give a shit about anything. So what we wanted to do was use this event as a way to kind of get everything just heated up to a point where they would snap and do something stupid, and we'd have cameras there to catch it. And we did. We made Drudge Report numerous times at these events. The front of it, back before they turned into a leftist shit rag, back when it was actually ran by Matt Drudge and not owned by CNN like it is now. Um, and we made big headlines, and presidents talked about us, and there was a fever pitch, and everything was starting to build up. And when we got there and did what we did, and nothing happened, they flipped out, and once again, they burned their cities down and threatened to attack the mayor and drag him out of his apartment complex. And then what does the mayor do? Defends the people that are trying to kill him and demonizes us. So every time we've done one of these events, I think we've done a very good job at using psychological warfare and propaganda to achieve our goal. And we've always done a good job at it. We've gotten better every time. There's only been one time that we've ever kind of gotten sucked into a situation, but it was kind of outside of our control. There was too many evil forces against us to really do anything about it. So, I'll end it with that part.
Yeah, I'll add to what Biggs was saying, and kind of touch on the general feelings of the time, especially towards police, because a lot of people they'll come up and kind of defend the stance on the police because they're ordered to do that, and I'll be honest, I used to kind of be one of those people that would sympathize with the police because they're just following orders. But after my prison experience, all of that sympathy and capitulation went to the wayside because we were going through something that was completely unjust, and it was a result of people not doing their jobs. And so, we kind of come to a place where even if you're being told not to do something, it's still doing the wrong thing. And I think, us going out there on our own fruition, putting ourselves and our bodies on the line in harm's way, I think was the thing that really attracted people to what we were doing. I mean, really, that's kind of the essence of the American spirit that we traditionally kind of speak to is being, voluntarily willing and able to take that frontline stance, whether it's convenient or not. And we did that very well. And I think, there's plenty of times where me, Biggs, Enrique, and other brothers would walk into a situation and think, what the hell are we getting ourselves into? What's going to happen?
But
yeah.
Why did we go? Why, touching on what Biggs was touching on, why did we keep going back to like Portland? Why that area? And I know that you were a local at that time.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it really comes down to the policies, the far left policies that we're having in those local governments, the city councils, the mayors especially would work hand in hand with the media. Obviously, the mayor is in control of the local police there in those cities. And for us, that was a reflection of what could, the rest of the country could become. And not everybody was facing these issues, especially that we were facing in Seattle and Portland. The West Coast really as a whole, you have Berkeley and other places that were affected. And yes, there were some places like Boston and other places that were affected pretty heavily, but for the most part, the West Coast seemed to be the concentration, what we call the belly of the beast.
Because you have in San Francisco, you have DAs like Chesa Boudin, whose parents were part of what was it, Weather Underground and Acorn and all that stuff. They're actual terrorists. And this guy becomes a DA and is literally letting people go, pedophiles, rapists, murderers. And that's the kind of shit we're seeing all over Portland, all over San Francisco, in Berkeley, up and down the West Coast, and in little pockets in the Northeast. And that's what really, that's what gave birth to the fact that Antifa could use these areas as a nest to fucking, kind of build a home.
So let me bring all that together. So Portland is the home of Rose City Antifa, which is probably like the first actual Antifa organized event in the United States outside of Europe, right? And we saw that because in the 70s and 80s, Portland was a free speech hub where all the hippies were and things like that. And then moving forward, we saw coming into the 2016 election, all the violence was happening there. We don't see that problem now, in 2025 as we did between 2016 and 2020. But it was a huge problem at the time. And a lot of people forget that, how big of a problem it was. If you were a Trump supporter just walking down the street in Portland, you decided to wear like a MAGA hat, it was impossible to even walk around without getting your ass beat.
It was over.
It was 2015 to 2020. It was 5 years of chaos all over the whole country.
Yep. Yeah. And what started it was what Ferguson, and you were there in Ferguson.
Yes, I was. I was there for the entire.
So what we did is we already had a reputation, right? We already had a reputation, and at some point in like 2019, we figured out how to use that reputation without putting our guys at risk. So let's fast forward and let's start this timeline on, I believe it was, Rob, if you could look this up for me, when that first debate, the stand back, stand by debate was. It was 2 days. There was two things that happened that day at Portland. One of a good friend of ours and a brother of ours, Jay, was shot right, and killed by a local member of Antifa, right? And then another member of the Proud Boys was just leaving a restaurant, and he was a victim of a hit and run. So we decided to go
29th.
September 29th, yes, and it was S27. I remember because that's what the chat was called. On September 27th, we decided to go to speak for Jay and to speak for our other brother that got hit by a car. But we also strategically positioned ourselves 2 days before the first debate, because between me, Biggs, and Ethan, we thought that we'd give President Trump some ammo to use in his first presidential debate, because Antifa was burning shit down. The summer of love was still in effect, and Portland was the best place for us to do so. So we pretended that we were going to go into the city and fucking wreck Antifa, right? And last minute, what we did is we switched locations. We had a barbecue, right? And we went home while they burned their own city to the ground.
Over the fact that you guys were coming.
Over the fact that we were coming. They were looking to come get us, and they didn't. There was no scuffles. There was no issues. We had a very peaceful rally. We partied. We drank. We had a great time. I got home, and all my local chapter was like, "Oh, we need a watch party for this first debate between Biden and Trump." And I remember sitting on my couch, dead tired because I just came from 5 days of fucking Portland. I'm dead asleep. And the first event that changed, there was multiple events before this, but the event that changed the Proud Boys' future forever was
Ain't that the fucking truth?
2 sentences, one from Joe Biden and the other one from Donald Trump. Joe Biden said, "Proud Boys." Trump said, "Stand back, stand by." And from there, I think all of our lives changed dramatically.
Yeah, Joe Biden actually tweeted out a picture of me.
Yeah. I mean, it was a phenomenal time. And if you remember, here's one rewind. When Biden announced his presidency, right? He did it with a video. The video was a video of him in Charlottesville saying that he needs to combat white supremacists and extremism in the United States. And his first, crazy enough as it is, his first task as president was to put all of us in prison, starting with Joe Biggs. As soon as he put the hand on the Bible, Joe Biggs's house was being raided that day. But let's move back to that. So stand back, stand by.
The hated one.
Yeah. So we're coming into a very electric election. Rob, you were there in November too. Were you? The November rally? So here's my perspective on election night, and then we'll move forward to election, unless you guys have like an election day story. I went to DC. I wanted to see the election. I wanted to be in DC for the election. I didn't go in colors. I didn't go, I didn't make a big rally. We just went to Harry's to watch the election. We're walking Bevelyn to her car, and we saw a gentleman get assaulted, and we saw him get stabbed. And we decided to fight these 3 perpetrators that came out of Black Lives Matter Plaza with Black Lives Matter masks. And we get stabbed for it. 4 individuals get stabbed. I get nicked. And we were just helping an older man and put 3 of them in the hospital. And shortly after that, the election was stolen. And that's what kind of kicked everything on in the country. So.
We'll say that again. The election was stolen.
The election was stolen.
Yep.
Everybody was pissed. We decided to do what was called not Stop the Steal. It was called the Million MAGA March.
MAGA March. Yep.
Yes. And we went there on November 14th. And Rob, you could take it from your perspective from there, I guess.
So more of my involvement was on December 12th. And so I'm a president of a chapter, so I was in national leadership.
in a
Wait a
Yankee
second.
state.
In a Yankee state. Shut the fuck up. You fucking Cuban hillbilly, you. And well, first of all, I want to say that Stand Back, Stand By did not great things for the club. We got some good brothers out of it, but man, did we get fucking inundated with fucking incels and idiots. I don't look fondly on the whole Proud Boys, Stand Back, Stand By.
I told everybody to stop recruiting.
Yeah, because it was just at that point nobody was vetting anybody. It was just like, oh my God, we're a thing now. Let's get as many people as humanly possible. We were going for quantity, not quality. And listen, I can't say any of this stuff without telling people. First of all, you got to understand, we started as a joke. That's not even bullshit. Gavin started this. We're named Proud Boys. If you don't know why we're named or how we were named. We're named after a song from the fucking Disney movie Aladdin, Proud of Your Boy. And us drunk idiots sing this when we get together once a month.
You do.
But it's true. It was a joke. We were started as a men's club to give the finger to Gloria Steinem and fucking third wave feminism. This is the whole thing, that we wanted to have a men's club again where we were, we were a drinking club with a patriot problem. These are the things that we've always bantered about. These are the things that we say about one another. And this is how we look at the club. We just wanted a spot where men could just be fucking men again and chill the fuck out, talk to our boys about our lives, about our families, and talk about how fucking, like Gavin says, I'm going to quote him, how sexy America is. And they pushed us into this position. The left did. The left pushed us into the position that we eventually, metamorphized into. We ended up being protectors, because no real American man is going to sit there and watch, a bunch of little soy fags fucking beat up on a grandmother and a grandfather just while the grandfather's trying to push the grandmother across the street just because they're wearing a fucking red hat that says "Make America Great Again." Real men don't do that. And that's what we have always professed ourselves to be: true, old school, toxically masculine fucking men that love this country. We just wanted to get together and hang out and have a men's club and just be bros. That's it. The left didn't like that, so what did they do? They started attacking us every chance they got, physically, with violence. Gavin talks about how they would have these T-shaped knives that they would try to cut us with. They're throwing shit and piss on us. And this happened to me in Providence. We went to a rally in Providence, and everybody there, they got sprayed in the face with who knows what, and everybody there came down with pneumonia. So this is what the left was doing, and they were attacking people. So on December 12th, I left New Hampshire. Well, December 11th.
Well, before we get to December 12th, because there's a lot that happened in between, I also want to touch on something.
Well, go ahead.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
So another thing, when we would go to Portland, me, Ethan, and Biggs would put these press releases together, just to make sure that we're communicating, what we want to communicate. And like the whole thing was about safety, right? Make sure our number one objective every time, me, Biggs, and Ethan sat down at those for Portland or DC or Austin or all the other places that we would go, it was safety. And in order to do so, it would be crazy of us to decide we're going to go to Portland and bring 4,000 or 5,000 people, 10,000 people, and not communicate with law enforcement, like local law enforcement, right? Because there was a level of that there has to be a separation between both groups, and this wasn't a secret. We would be like, hey, we're in contact with Portland Police Bureau. We're gonna have a safe rally, yada yada yada. And me and Biggs, look, so much so, me and Biggs, like when we went to Portland, we made sure, everybody was safe. And that I think Biggs can speak to that also.
Well, yeah, I mean, and this is where the whole Joe Biggs is a federal informant. Uh, it's because we said that when we would do these events, we would work with local law enforcement and the federal government. We knew that they were going to be called to come to these events, and we would actually sit down and go, "Look, this is our plan. This is what our march is going to be like. We want to make sure that we stay safe, and that the people there that are attending our rally are safe, and then also you guys and law enforcement are safe as well. We don't want anybody to get hurt." So we would have these negotiations, and Enrique would even. I remember one time it was at the airport in Portland when we landed. They brought us into this back room, and it's me, Enrique, the Portland police, FBI, all this. And Enrique looks at him and goes, "So has anybody from Antifa reached out and talked to you?" He goes, "No, they never do. They never respond to us or anything." I go, "Don't you think it's kind of odd that you guys call us the bad guys and you treat us like shit and say that we're literally domestic terrorists, but we're the only ones reaching out and kind of giving you a heads up about what our plans are so everyone can be safe, because we're not out here to cause mayhem. You've already got a group doing that. We're here to put that to a stop. We're here to be the grown men in the room and to show the world that we can do the right thing. Yeah, we might be a drinking club, but we're also grown ass men and we care about people, and we want to go in and be respectful to this city that we're not from, and just make sure that everybody's doing the right thing." So that's what we would do. We would sit down and talk to these people and go, "Look, this is our route of march. We may go here, we may not." And we would throw them curveballs. We wouldn't give them everything what we're going to do. We would actually kind of fuck with them sometimes too, and give them, fake plans just to get them kind of worked up. So when we did go do the safe route, they would be very calm and very thankful after that. And we're like, yeah. So we'd run a psyop on those guys as well. But it was all for one reason only: to keep everybody safe. That's all we care about. I don't want to see people get hurt. We might get online and talk a lot of shit, but at the end of the day, we want to do what we're there to do. We want to convey a message of Americanism, America first, give people an opportunity to see who we are, speak with us, reach out to each other like that, and have a good conversation about the direction of the country. And we did it successfully every time.
Yeah, I can bounce off that as well. What Biggs is saying is spot on as far as everything. Our interactions with law enforcement, we're always to avoid as much conflict as possible and to really consider that they have their jobs to do. And if they're going to do their jobs, we'd like them to do their job. I mean, really, honestly, the best outcome that we ever really hoped for was that if Antifa did show up and become violent, that the police would handle them and we could just sit back, hang out with people, network with people, and go grab some beers after. I mean, that was really the goal, is to just ensure that the police were doing their jobs and they were adequately allowed to do their jobs. And there was enough attention on these situations where maybe the city council or mayor had so much pressure on them that they, like with that Portland rally that we did, they were allowed to use extra munitions that they hadn't previously been allowed to use because of the size and the pressure that was put on them with the anticipation of us showing up, that they were actually allowed to use those munitions. This is like riot, crowd dispersing munitions against Antifa. Yeah, we gave them the ability because previously they didn't have that ability. And, it also speaks to like this idea that we heard from our prosecutors time and time again throughout our trial that, we thought it was our job. Who are you to say that it's your job? It's like, look, this is not communist China. Okay. This country was established by the individuals, by the Minutemen militia style individuals who stepped up and did the right thing, whether they were prepared to, whether they were trained to. It's just that willingness to, I think, that really spoke to us at the time, the Proud Boys. That kind of energy is just, we didn't necessarily know every single time what the best thing to do was in those particular situations because it's so random and chaotic, but we were willing to. And I think we, missed that point, is we should all be willing to and able, if you're able to, you should be willing to step up to those kinds of situations on people and stand up against them. And that's what we did. And I think that's what really spoke to a lot of people, is that kind of breath of fresh air that people experience when they see videos of us out there, and they'd be wondering, like, why isn't anybody doing anything? And they'd see, black and yellow showing up and they're like, wow, thank God somebody's doing something. And so maybe we weren't always doing the best, or we were the most organized. I mean, there's tons of evidence to suggest that we're not the most organized group of individuals, right? But we
Unless
were
it's the
willing,
federal government.
right?
Ain't that the
Right.
fucking truth?
And we shouldn't depend so much on the government. And COVID, which came shortly after the 2018 through 20, really showed us, what we get from being too dependent on the government. So,
Yeah. Rob, were you there on November 4th? I didn't
November
catch
4th. No, I was
14th.
I was actually 14th. No, I was actually in Portsmouth. There was
Okay.
a rally in Portsmouth, so I had that in my head, and I remember that Antifa. Well, Antifa in New Hampshire is like a bunch of blue-haired, octogenarians, so it wasn't really that bad. But I remember that there was shit going down in Boston, so I ended up booting down to Boston, and I remember on the ride, I got a call saying that you got stabbed.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
And I was like,
it wasn't very deep, but one thing
I know you got a fucking paper cut.
I mean, listen, it went in a whole
I know,
inch.
yeah, it went in all, just an
Just a
inch.
tip.
just an inch, just a fucking inch, guy. No,
You should have seen this guy get a tattoo.
Yeah, dude, the tattoo was horrible. It was
Did
bad.
you cry? Did you cry?
We're not gonna
He-
touch on
Yeah,
that.
you fucking
begging
did.
for
I know you
morphine.
did. Somebody give me some drugs.
Biggs is over there partying right now as we speak.
I know he's got the fucking lights going.
So let me touch on November 14th, right?
Yeah.
So that was such a fun rally. We walked around, we protected people, we swept. It was called the DC Street Sweepers.
Yep.
We actually swept Antifa out of multiple zones.
Swept.
I'm sorry. English is
Swooped.
my
You
second
did.
language.
Yeah, I know.
Swooped.
Did you fucking?
I swooped them.
Swept them.
Well,
What happens when we allow illegal?
I don't think you've ever swept anything.
DEI. So we swept them out of Freedom Plaza, Black Lives Matter Plaza. They were attacking Trump supporters. We protected them. But that is where I started noticing a difference because Biggs and Ethan weren't there. I started noticing a difference in the guys, and it was because of the stand back, stand by. I saw a little bit of a level of aggression that I had never seen with the guys, and it always came from the new guys that had just joined about a month ago.
Yep.
Right. And I started seeing, I'm like, okay, this might be like a one-time thing. They didn't go super crazy, but I did see a level of aggression that I'm not used to, right? We're used to playing very defensive. And I saw that and I was like, hold up. But we had a great time. There was a lot of people on the ground. There was present that day, there was about 700 to 800 Proud Boys on the ground on the November 14th rally. Now, there was many rallies across the country throughout that time, Georgia, Arizona, Michigan, but DC was where it was at, and we kind of played the role that the Metropolitan Police didn't play. I saw it with my own eyes where DC police is in a lineup, a whole bunch of Trump supporters are getting their ass beat, and nobody did shit. Those cops just sat there and just watched it happen. And you know who had to come in? The fucking Proud Boys had to come in, right? To the point where at 1:00 in the morning, there was no more Antifa on the streets. And those motherfuckers stay out till like 5, 6 in the morning. I mean, we stayed out till 5 or 6 in the morning, but I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave that.
Leave that there.
I'm gonna leave that out there.
For the people that are listening, this November 14th is where something you said was very prolific. We were once thought of as a joke, but now we're a movement.
Yeah.
And it's so true because you guys got to understand that I don't like to use the word tenants because and we all do this when we say tenants, like, oh fuck, that's gross. Don't fucking say that. But the number one tenet of ours has always been in regards to this is we don't go to their shit, they come to ours. FAFA was started because of us. Fuck around and find out. We don't go to their rallies. We wait till they come to us. We don't start shit, we finish shit. And again, like I told you guys at the beginning, we didn't do this when I first joined. It was pre-punch, by the way. So it was pre-punch.
I feel like people need to specify that these days. Like, wow, I was pre-punch.
Yeah.
Well, there's pre-punch, there's pre-punch, post-punch, and post stand back, stand by, and I did my first degree pre-punch. So, but I joined because I was tired of. I was on like 3% of groups on Facebook, and all these guys ever did was fucking run their mouths. They didn't do anything.
Gay.
You know, they were, yeah. I wanted to be a part of something that was obviously bigger than myself, and that was actually taking it to these guys, and wasn't going to allow them to destroy our streets and destroy our homes and destroy people's businesses and punch old ladies. Like, this is their mindset. And I was like, yeah, let's go. I'm joining this so I can kick the shit out of Antifa. And real quickly, I found a brotherhood that transcended beating up Antifa. I mean, it was a great byproduct of joining the Proud Boys, but it was all about the brotherhood at that point. And it's unlike any other thing that I've ever experienced in my life. And I've been part of plenty of other groups. I was in an MC at one point, and the brotherhood that I found here is unlike anything that I've ever experienced. And, it got to the point where, like, all right, you know what? Like, let's get together once a month. Let's chill out. Let's be brothers. And then, the left just kept pushing. And they forced us into this position that we really never wanted to be in the first place. And people don't understand that. We never asked for this. We never wanted to be a movement. We just wanted to be a bunch of dudes getting together and getting fucking drunk and telling really bad, fucking really horrible racist jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we call each other the worst things in the world.
That's what men used to do. Like,
when we went to prison, I think that helps out too. Like, we're so used to fucking getting called like the worst of the worst by our own brothers, that some dude in prison would say something and be like,
yeah,
pussy.
Whatever,
you're going to step up your game, buddy.
Pussy.
Joining the Proud Boys has been one giant character building. It develops thick skin for sure.
I mean, not to get into anything.
I think the Black Proud Boys say nigger more than we do.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There are Black Proud Boys. And Puerto Ricans and... I mean,
yeah, the funniest thing ever though was in trial when we had a Black Proud Boy come in. The black dude, this one guy looks like CeeLo. You should have seen it. He sees his brother walk up to take the stand. He's like, his eyes pop out. He's like, what? Like, I see him looking at the other black dudes in there, and he's like,
hey, hold up. I gotta say this story really quick.
And the rabbi.
So that I mean, Zach literally brought the whole fucking rainbow in. He brought an Asian Proud Boy, a Black Proud Boy, a Mexican Proud Boy. I mean, he brought them all in, right? But the black dude goes up there. The black dude gets up there, and you got the stenographer that's sitting right in front of him or something. And the stenographer, some of them have like habits, right? So they he likes looking at, or was it she?
He.
It was he. He likes looking at the person that's speaking. Feminine one. Yeah. And he's looking back at the witness stand and he's typing up this, and the black guy just is like, hey, what the fuck you looking at? In the middle of trial. What the fuck you looking at? And the stenographer's like, and the stenographer's literally wrote it onto the thing. What the fuck are you looking at? Right? And the judge cuts in and is like, what are you doing? He's like, yo, that dude's looking at me, bro. He's looking at me a certain way. And bro, he almost gets into a fight while he's on the stand with the fucking stenographer. I mean, great. Stereotypes wouldn't be so funny if they weren't true.
Like,
he's like, excuse me, Your Honor, but he's eyeballing me right now. I don't like that.
That's exactly what he said.
Why does this motherfucker eyeball me?
For sure, that Proud Boy goes on Carnival Cruise, bro. For sure, he's like a platinum member.
Yeah, that's the Crockett Cruise.
I'm sure that there's also a lot of people that don't even know this, that you were called the black face of white supremacy.
All the time. You know, I hate doing like normie conservative media because it's kind of like I hate it.
Gay?
The first
Gay,
question, the first question I always get asked when I get on like normie,
Afro-Cuban.
hey, how could somebody call you a white supremacist if you're a black dude? And I sit there, I'm like, you know, I got my go-to line that I just hit like play.
Default.
You know,
yeah.
default. It's like the soundboard. I just hit it, you know? It's like, oh yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I'm black. I'm not really black though.
Yeah, but that's
Man,
like,
don't tell everybody that. We use that, man. Fuck.
That's
I
what
know,
I'm
you're-
kidding.
you're-
I'm kidding.
you're a
I'm kidding. I'm
token.
black.
You're
He's-
a
he's-
fucking
He's
Wikipedia says
80%
he's
fucking.
Afro-Cuban.
He's 80% African, 20% Cuban.
yeah.
I'm a Spaniard, bro.
We got to have a fucking token here. I mean, shit.
Yeah.
He's a watermelon coconut.
It's like I'm a
Yeah.
fruity.
If you didn't laugh at that, then
I'm a
you're
fruity
boring
mixer.
as hell.
Listen, this is what it is. Like 30 years I've been on a construction site. This is the way men talk to one another. This is the shit. We bust each other's fucking balls, and at the end of the day, we say, "Love you, bro," and no homo.
Yeah.
You know, this
Yeah.
is the shit. We say the worst shit fucking possible to one another out of fucking love. We can bust each other's balls and have a fucking laugh, and we've lost that in this country. And that's what is so scary to the left, is that there are men still doing this, that believe in being like this and being toxically masculine. You know, and
Yeah, we had a
busting
dude
each
in a
other's balls.
wheelchair roll up in fucking
God.
trial with a dog named Donald Trump, and he's fucking going off on everybody. That shit was hilarious.
And then the guys, look, perfect example. Like he's handicapped. Eddie Block, he's handicapped, and he rides like a little scooter.
He's fucking-
Excuse me, beep beep.
Yeah,
beep,
we had
excuse
to
me.
we had to stop the march like 2 or 3 times because the scooter couldn't get through the freaking muddy grass. He needs some 4-wheel drive. I was like, I was ready to leave him in the dust, but like, you know.
Well, look,
They're
that guy
like,
that
why
guy-
do they have radio? Why do they have radios on the march? It was for that fucking guy. Because
Guys,
whenever
like,
he would
Eddie
fall back,
fell behind again,
the-
guys.
they would radio up to us at the front. They would radio up to us at the front and go, "Hey man, he's stuck again. We got to get him out. Can you guys slow down?"
And he
The
swore,
government's like, they're using fucking radios to fucking communicate their fucking plan to overthrow the government. I'm like, no, we got a fucking rolaids back here getting stuck in the mud every 2 seconds.
And let me tell you something about equality here with him.
I
You know,
know, right?
Eddie goes to Westfest, and he gets roasted like anybody else. You know, he leaves his little scooter, and he gets a little sticks because he has a little sticks that he walks with. And he left his scooter, and like, rest in peace, Levi. Levi steals his little scooter and drives it off a ramp. You know, so the Proud Boys had to pitch in money to buy him a new fucking scooter. So like,
Yeah.
he
It
gets
was
it
better.
just as much as anybody. Beep beep. Sorry.
It's like spring break in 1992 every day with us. Like that's, I don't know how else to fucking describe it. It's just fucking out there
Yeah.
having fun and just doing.
You know what another thing is, like, I always like, for some reason we have a lot of Marines, and if you ever knew any Marines or spent a lot of time with Marines, it's like the same rhetoric, same language. So like these groups exist. This group of men has existed all throughout history in some other form or fashion. You know, police officers when they're by themselves, Marines especially, and we just attract a lot of Marines for some reason. I wonder why. And it's just like, you know, it's just stuff that we keep behind closed doors because it's, you know, this modern era. You get fired or ridiculed or ostracized for just literally talking like a man. And it's just like, Proud Boys was just that first group that came out and were like, yeah, we don't give a fuck. Like, this is who we are. And that's why people think we're so radical, but it's like, it's not radical. It's actually happening right now.
I mean, we understood the playbook, and the playbook is the Rules for Radical by Saul Alinsky. And their number one rule is to keep your enemy up against the ropes and call them racist, because most conservatives, most of these fake fucking MAGA people, once they get called racist, they're like, oh, no, I'm not. And they spend their entire time trying to defend themselves
Yep.
against a word. And we got to a point where he said, you know what, you're going to call us one? We don't care. We're just going to have fucking fun with it. So we started doing the stupid okay shit and saying it means something that it doesn't. I'm calling, doing interviews with the New York Times to help kind of fan the flames of that whole thing. You know, and we're just, you know, we don't give a shit. Call us whatever you want to call us, because at the end of the day, we all know who we are. We know what our self-worth is. We know that we're a brotherhood. We're going to have each other's backs no matter what. And at the end of the day, the only opinions in anyone's lives should be that of your friends and your family. Everyone else can go fuck themselves. And we're a family. So I don't give a shit what some fucking Cuomo the Chomo says on fucking CNN or these other fags out there. You know, we know who we are. And when we come home, our family respects us and our brothers love us. And that's it.
Yeah.
Everything else can fuck off.
So moving into December 12th, which I think there was a catalyst for a lot of things. You know, there's a lot of important moments, but I think December 12th is probably the most important pre-January 6th, right? Because a lot of things happened. Rob, you were there, so
Oh yeah.
and you were there for the planning of it.
Yeah.
So I guess yeah, kick it off.
Well, we drove down, and the New Hampshire chapter drove down, and
Yankees.
Yankees. Yeah, well, we showed up, motherfucker. All right, so
Yeah, you did show up.
shut up.
With your-
We are not talking about that.
Oh, we don't got to talk about it. We could show it.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
Hey, go ahead, Enrique. Roll clip 6 now. Go.
Listen, this just goes to prove that I can balance, and this actually works into what we're going to talk about with the MOSD and, you know, the position in the MOSD that Enrique wanted me in anyway, is that for all my quote-unquote badassness, I'm a goofy motherfucker, and I like to have fun, and I like to make people laugh. And I love being like the PR guy. Like, I really do. And I can do that, but I can also throw down and fucking stomp your ass if need be. And so we had a great day, man. Like, that day was fucking one of the greatest days I could ever remember in my life. We walked into Freedom Plaza. We all met up at Harry's. We all marched down to Freedom Plaza. And when we came into Freedom Plaza, it was, now I've been on tour with my band and I've been in front of crowds. And this has felt exactly like that. We were fucking rock stars. Like, everybody wanted to take pictures with us. There was old black women for Trump, and there were like Asians for Trump, and then there was like Mexicans for Trump, and then it was just like a melting pot of what I believe America should be. It was amazing. It was
I
probably
never heard of that one. I never heard of the old black women for Trump.
You're an asshole.
I was waiting for you to fucking
You are a
notice.
fucking
He's
asshole.
he's going on a fucking.
So how do you like that? I'm not even there. Fuck
You're-
you.
Is this your shoulder over here?
I have no idea what you're talking about, you motherfucker. You're such an asshole. Oh my God, you guys are gonna go back and watch that. It's
Quite
like,
a few assholes.
But thank you. Oh God. Can we get this off the fucking screen, please? So
Yeah, we
anyway,
need to get this. We need to get this made up into a beautiful big picture portrait.
You know,
and we're gonna start
I promise
selling it on the
you-
store.
Let's see what AI could do with
I
it.
promise you, I am printing that picture and it's going up in the studio.
Yeah, that's great. You just need a
I actually,
signature.
Enrique, I actually have a better one than that, by the way.
I'm sure
I'll
you
put
I have
that
a
one
better
up.
Yeah,
With
I'll
the
I'll
balls
send you
hanging
that
out?
one.
Oh, the balls are
That's
hanging
not
out
my-
on that one,
That
but
was
it's
not
it's-
my balls, motherfucker. That was not my balls. No
I don't know whose
fucking way in
balls.
hell.
The original one, like you could kind of see it right here on the
It
bottom right
was-
corner. There's
it
a pair of
was-
balls there. It's
that's
pixelated, so you.
ACDC, who's got big balls?
That was, you know whose balls that was. I'm not.
Yeah, no, I
doxing
know, I know them very well.
them. Okay, so when we get there, you know, we get to Freedom Plaza.
Impossible
So there was
to
these
stay off
old black
topic.
women for Trump, right? So I got to tell you this. So we're taking pictures with these older black women. They're probably in their 60s, and it's like, you know, black woman, me, black woman, other Proud Boy, black woman, and so on, right? And we're taking pictures, and I have these pictures, and all of a sudden, we'll call him S for now, because you know who I'm talking about. Looks over at me, and he goes, "Rob," I said, "What, bro?" "She's got her hands on my balls," and I was like, "What?" And I was like, he's like, "Dude, she's cupping my balls." And I look over, and this 60-year-old black woman has got S's balls in her hand. And he looks at me petrified and says, "What do I do?" I said, "Bro, just go with it. You don't want to make a scene."
Chocolate covered raisins, bro.
I'm thinking of myself. I'm like, if he makes we're surrounded by black women and we're Proud Boys. If he makes a big deal over this is not going to go down real fucking well. But so listen, it was a great time. And then, we walked around DC, and then some of the Proud Boys that Enrique was talking about earlier, the ones that really wanted to headhunt, there was this big fucking argument. And you remember what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And you were like, you and Joe and Ethan was there, and like, listen, you guys need to chill the fuck out. And these guys were like, no, fuck that.
Yeah,
And
we had to calm people down quite a bit.
yeah,
I had to slap somebody I had to slap one of the guys in the face.
Yeah, I was standing right there when it happened, and so,
and it was a big dude.
Yeah.
But Ethan was close to me.
That's why he didn't do anything, because otherwise he would have just fucking stepped on you. But the point is that Antifa was pushing all day. And the guys that had been OG or more experienced with rallies, like us, we weren't letting them get to us. We wanted to have a good day. We wanted to show up for America and just make everything awesome. And then the night happened. And the series of events that night, I want to say this without being over dramatic, has weighed, but it's weighed on my soul for 4 fucking years now. And I guess this is the part that...
Well, Rob, hold on to that thought before we get into the night scene.
Okay.
Right?
Hold on to it like a pair of sweaty balls.
Yeah, hold on to it like that black lady was holding on to S's balls.
Oh my God, dude! Listen. Right after that, we had a big fucking all New England meetup in Hampshire. Like all the New England chapters went to this one place in New Hampshire, and S grabbed my phone, and he took a picture of his balls because his balls are the joke now. He took my phone and took a picture of his fucking balls, and like for 3 months, I didn't even realize it. And then I'm looking through my phone, and I go, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? And he starts laughing. He's got that sheepish. This is the stuff we're talking about. We have a good time. We bust each other's balls, and it's
literally
literally. And sometimes we take pictures of our balls on our brothers' phones and leave it there.
Yeah. So Rob, you were part of this planning chat going into the event of December 12th, right?
Yep.
And I remember voicing my concern, like lightly, with the level of aggression with the guys. And the plan was, I mapped it out. I created a map of DC, and I scheduled it. And I wanted to, and I know you guys remember this. The plan was to walk the guys. I didn't want them going out at night. So the plan was to fucking march them through all of DC and fucking wear them out all day from 7 o'clock in the morning through 5 o'clock at night. So like at 5 o'clock, we go to the bar, everybody's tired, everybody goes home. That was the point, right? And we were trying to stay away from most conflicts unless like we saw like a big issue happen, and then we'd go in a group. So I was communicating with Lieutenant Shane Lamond at that time. And before I would communicate with Lieutenant Shane Lamond, I'd talk to you guys and be like, look, this is what we should do, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna plan it out with DC Metro to make sure that the guys are safe, right? So everything went pretty much as planned till 5 o'clock, except I'm not gonna say why, but we were up at I was up at 4:30 in the morning. I knock on doors. Like everybody knows that fucking stays with me. I'll start knocking on your door at 5:30 in the morning. And usually these two are awake at that time. The problem was that at 5 o'clock, they weren't tired. They weren't tired at all. We've been like rucking it all day. Plate carriers, fucking, heavy lifting. Some guys went away from the group and got into some fucking issues. We brought them back. Then we had that issue where, that issue was at night. So after 5 o'clock, we started getting reports. One of the reports was one of our guys was stuck in a liquor store. Antifa was surrounding him. They wouldn't let him leave the liquor store. They would throw fireworks into the liquor store. and my Shane Lamond, I saw a report on it. I text him. He told me, yeah, there's an issue. We're on our way. So we ruck it over there. We clean Antifa out of the front of the liquor store. We get our guys out of the liquor store. And then we start marching around. And through the help of Lieutenant Shane Lamond, we were marching the guys away from the big Antifa crowds, right? But we wouldn't tell that. Like you three knew that.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't tell the guys that. I'd be like, oh, okay, let's go look for Antifa. And I'd go in an opposite direction.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want that clash.
Let me interject here. Yeah, he was absolutely, like, those of us that did know what he was doing, we knew why he was doing it, and we appreciated why he was doing it. And he was like, yeah, let's go find those motherfuckers. And then we're fucking marching around. Everybody's like, where are we going? And we like passed by the same fucking building like 3 or 4 times, and they didn't even realize what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
But it was done purposely, because the whole point was to not get anybody stabbed like what happened in November, and just to have a great night. And, listen, man, I've always said, I've always defended you on that, because it's exactly what I would have done, because I have the same mindset. I don't want anybody to get hurt.
And Biggs, because I think Biggs could speak to this too. At night we did. I think a couple people went to their hotels, and Biggs had this big crew that was with him, marching to Harry's, and I think Ethan did too. Because sometimes you got to go to your hotel and you can't go alone. And there were some scuffles along the way that we saw, like Antifa and BLM assaulting Trump supporters, and then we always would run right in, But at night is when I really started seeing a level of aggression that I really didn't like, and I really didn't enjoy doing. That morning when I saw, there must have been like easily 2,000 or more Proud Boys on the ground that day. And I remember at like 7 in the morning.
I put it at like 2,500.
And I had a little mini panic attack in the morning when I saw that, because I'm like, look, we're not a fucking militia. I don't know how to walk these guys anywhere, So there was issues that night.
Yeah, big issues. So at one point, we're all standing around Harry's. I don't know, was this like 10 o'clock at night? I think it was. And nobody was going to sleep. Nobody was tired. But everybody was partying. Everybody was having a fucking great time, laughing. And next thing you know, I see, we all see this Black Lives Matter banner coming towards us. Can we stop? Thank you. I'm trying to take this seriously.
But
and we all think it's Black Lives Matter coming into, like, there was at least 2,500 Proud Boys, but there was also a bunch of normies, people that weren't Proud Boys. So there had to have been almost 4,000 or 5,000 people in that intersection where we were at. I mean, it was just like, and 6 million PBs, yeah, 6 million. 6.
I don't think that's accurate.
What?
Yeah, that's not enough.
6 million.
No,
that's not accurate.
No. Weapons and equipment.
It's more like 230,000.
230,000. Yeah.
Man, it's getting hot in here. It's getting hot in here.
Yeah. So we see this banner coming towards us, and we didn't realize it was our guys ish, normies or whatever. But we started running towards them because we thought it was BLM, and we were like, all right, you guys are about to fuck around and find out. And then we realized, and everybody starts laughing, and then the banner gets burned. And he won't admit it. He won't admit it. But this man on here to my lower right took the rap for something he didn't need to, because that's what real fucking men do, especially with, But right after that, I hear this fucking woman screaming, and this is important information because this goes into the Zoom call. I hear this woman screaming, "Fuck you, get the fuck out of here." And there's video of this. And I go running over to the dude, and it's a dude from, he's a black guy in a Black Lives Matter mask. And she's like, "You get the," and I was like, you hear me, I run across the street, and I go, "Dude, you need to get the hell out of here right now. Like, you need to get the fuck out of here right now for your own benefit. Fuck you, motherfucker," he says. And I go, "Dude, seriously, man, before these guys," and you hear me on the video say, "Before these guys realize who you are, you need to get the hell out of here." Because listen, everybody was fucking drunk. Everybody was fucking fired up. This kid would have got, I didn't want to even think about what would have happened to him. So we start scuffling, and there is a picture, which I'm going to send to Enrique right now so he can put up on the screen. There is a picture that's pretty fucking scary. You see me standing there, my hands are out like this, and he has a knife, and he's going to stab one of our guys, which he does stab one of our guys. So one of our brothers at the time, his name was Jeremy Bertino. And also his screen name was Noble Beard. I see Jeremy coming up from my left to try to get this guy from behind. Well, what I didn't see was the guy with the knife took a swing at me. And because I was worried about everybody else that was going around me. And this woman who we told to get the fuck out of here because she just wouldn't calm the fuck down, shut her goddamn fucking mouth, and let men do men things, because the women always have to insert themselves when men are around, exacerbated the situation by grabbing this guy by his hood and spinning him around. So instead of Jeremy being able to get this dude on the sneak, now this dude's facing Jeremy. The two of them come together. I jump on them. The three of us start rolling down the street. And I feel, so it's Jeremy on the bottom, this dude, Black Lives Matter guy, and me. And I feel his hand doing this. And I feel him hitting my chest on my plate carrier. And he's fucking stabbing Jeremy beneath me as we're rolling down the street. Well, we end up stopping. And I just remember this dude, like, I'm not a small dude by any stretch of the imagination, but this dude was like gigantor. And I didn't even see who it was. I just saw the size of this fucking mountain. He picks me up like I was a fucking rag doll and throws me, and I hit the berm of the sidewalk. I ended up cracking a rib from that. And then next thing you know, I got cops on top of me, and I got sprayed in the face with mace. This dude falls over on me, on top of me, and I get dragged by my plate carrier and put up against the wall. And I'm looking over, and I see Jeremy laying on the ground, and I see 8 or 9 people stomping on this dude's head. And then the cops rush me, and they're pulling my fucking plate carrier off and they're saying, you got stabbed. I'm like, no, I didn't get stabbed. Stop fucking touching me. And they're like, no, we saw you. You got stabbed. I'm like, he's like, you're in shock. I'm like, no, I'm not in fucking shock. I didn't get stabbed. And I pull my plate carrier off, and I stop and I look to my left, and the first Proud Boy that got stabbed was right next to me, probably 10 feet away from me, and he's holding his intestines in his hand. And they're trying to administer aid to him. And I saw Jeremy bleeding out on the street. We all got maced at that point. Everybody that was there in that situation, because I know what mace is, and I remember my not being able to breathe. I don't know if it was my rib but I do remember the burning in my throat. And I got right back up, and I jumped in there, and the cop fucking grabbed me and said, stop. and then my sergeant at arms was under direct rules from my fiance at the time that Rob doesn't get into the shit. You need to keep him safe because if he gets to that point, it's going to get bad. And he couldn't stop me. I got back into the fray, and when they put Jeremy in the bus in the ambulance, and he took off. I know Joe and Ethan remember this. I went and I told them what happened. And it started another chain of events after that. And I did you want to say something, Enrique?
So before I say what was happening to me at that point,
I'm going to send you this picture while you're talking.
Ethan, I've never asked you, like, what was going on with you guys? Because there's a reason why I was like half a block down, and I couldn't make it. But I don't remember too much. I'm foggy. You and Biggs were together.
Well, from what I remember, I think I had my own kind of group of guys from the PNW with me, and we were kind of, at the time there was a lot of separation. Like one random group had gone off, and maybe they got pinned down, and so you'd have these groups go out and try and unpin these guys, and so there was a lot of discombobulation. I had the PNW guys with me, and me and Biggs ended up meeting up together, and then from there, me and Biggs he had a big group of people, and I had a big group of people, kind of came together, and then we saw you guys from a distance and all started like running at you guys real fast, like, and yelling, and that's when we kind of aligned with you guys. And shortly after that, I think about 30 minutes after, that's when the stabbings happened. Because I remember a little bit quicker. Yeah, it was really short after we had kind of grouped a little bit there, and we were tired as hell. I mean, we've been walking all goddamn day. And I remember talking to you, and you were telling me like, hey, we just got reports that there's basically, I think what you said is there's hits put out on us.
Yes.
To take our parries and stab us up and shit like that. And so we were being warned.
Our parries had bounties.
Yeah. And so shortly right after that, I don't even know if it was 5-10 minutes after I had gotten that news that,
And for those who don't know what a parry is, tell them.
Yeah. So Fred Perry is our
typical polo.
It's our polos.
Black with the
black and yellow
with the yellow piping.
Enrique, I was going to get to this too, and I just texted you two pictures. One of them is, you guys also got to understand too, like, we're not being hyperbolic when we talk about that everything was against us and against Americans. Twitter at the time allowed Antifa to put and Black Lives Matter to put a wanted poster for Jeremy, wanted dead poster on fucking Twitter. And I just sent it to Enrique because I saved it. This is what social media was allowing the left to do, was put out actual hits on people. And when he gets that picture up there, you'll see. And then I sent you the picture of the beginning of the stabbing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously local law enforcement was taking it seriously, so this wasn't just hyperbole.
Yeah. So, from my perspective, so we were hanging out in front of Harry's, and I do remember that you and Biggs came in with a big group of Proud Boys because you guys had gone to like your hotel and you came back. And then I'm sitting at Harry's, and for some reason, I can't remember for the life of me, somebody in the morning put this younger kid at my side, and he told, I've always tried to remember who it is, and I can't remember. They're like, you stay with him and you don't leave his side. So I had this kid next to me my whole time, and he was always grabbing the back of my plate carrier no matter where I went. So that night, while that was going on, I started seeing when Biggs showed up with you, I started seeing like a big crowd moving in one direction. And I heard a lot of screaming, right, and yelling. So instantly I sprint over there and he grabs me from the back of my plate carrier. And you could be the strongest dude in the world. That little area right there is
Drag
tough.
handle, yeah.
So he's dragging me. I'm fucking kicking back. And that was a little while before these bounties came up. And these were bounties that weren't just online, they were in their local communications, their encrypted messaging channels. I forgot what they used. I think it was Signal. And I got a call from Shane Lamont, and they're like, "Hey, look, there's this threat." And then the guys were surrounding me at that point. Then after that is when that happened, and that kid was pulling me. So the rest of the guys pulled me in, and I couldn't go over there. And until the whole scene unfolded, my guys weren't letting me fucking move.
Yeah, you.
Right?
So what you heard when you saw the large group of people, that was me leading a like a what do you call it? Like a Braveheart charge. We're coming over the top of this hill, and I go,
Yep.
"Everybody's at Harry's. Let's fucking go, freedom!" I yell, and we just start running down there to you guys. And there's flag things already happened at this point. I go to the little corner store once we get down there, and I go, "Fuck, we need some beer." So I grab some beers, and me and Ethan sit down.
Let me
We
show
may or
you.
may not have been on other things as well. But we were sitting there just doing like snow angels on the pavement, having fun, you know? And then when I ran out of beer, I was like, I got to go get some more. So I got back up. And that's when I saw the black dude come in with a knife. He actually, when he pulls his knife out and starts coming down the side, he actually has his arm out with the blade out. It comes right under my stomach. And I kind of like jump back. He goes under me and right into that other guy, that first guy that goes. He goes
Fucking
down.
Neo.
He had the
Yeah.
black and yellow
Bring,
sleeves on his arms, and he's down on the ground. He's bleeding out of his stomach. It's starting to come out of his mouth, and it was
Yeah,
fucking. It was surreal, man. It was intense.
Now, let me tell you something
that
about this.
Bring that
Well,
picture up.
before I bring that picture up, Helena here, because she was on the street that day, says they had posters on street lights up and boarded up businesses too. So those posters, I actually have an original hanging up in my studio, right? And they put these really cool posters up that says "No Proud Boys." Can you read it there?
Oh yeah.
No Proud Boys in DC. This was on the street polls. So they already knew we were coming. They had all of our pictures. They put them up all over the place. There was one for Biggs. I believe there was one for Ethan also. And that's where they initiated people's like visually on who to target. And then later on in the messaging apps, they would put things like this and then put a cash amount with it. In this case, it is Jeremy Bertino. And this was one of the ones that this was on Twitter, but there was one that was on the chats,
They love us. They really, really love us.
which they always seem so cool. Like this is like a cool piece of fucking art. I love
I
having
think
this.
that's awesome. I love when they hate on us and do shit like that. That's free promotion.
Yep.
That's historic. That's awesome. Like that's forever fucking badass.
So
What are these guys don't mean for shit, but they can definitely help us get some fucking rock star status.
yeah, so no Proud Boys in DC on December 11th and 12th. December 11th and 12th, all day, Black Lives Matter Plaza. And it has a website associated with it, which is defenddc.org.
It's hilarious when they have this huge plan to keep us out of certain areas, and 2,500 of us come to that area.
And they're like, "Whoa, what the fuck?"
It's like,
No,
oh,
no,
this
it
wasn't an
was-
invitation. I thought it was an invitation. I said,
Yeah, but it's hard to describe in words just how large our group was. I mean,
It was big.
we're not there with like
Huge,
5'4"
black and yellow.
fucking skinny kids. I mean, we're there with pretty big fucking guys. I mean, it looked like a Viking raid, and just it definitely didn't say, "Hey, we're a group to fuck with." It said we're a group to fucking respect and stand back from, stay away from, and yeah, I mean that day will
Well, that
forever
one dude-
change my life because that church is still trying to sue me for shit that I never even fucking did. Blows
yeah,
my mind.
that's another point too. Is that timeline when we were talking about me and Biggs kind of being separated and
We're not even
joining,
there.
we weren't even the whole banner burning thing that Rob was talking about. We weren't even there, until we didn't even know about it until I think way after
down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Enrique's like, I'm gonna, he took blame for the banner burning, and
Went to jail.
we were like, well, we weren't even there. I don't even know this. It wasn't a big deal to us at all. It was like, oh, okay. And then he ends up going and serving 6 months in prison for it. So, pretty wild. And we're being sued for $2.8 million for something we didn't even get to privilege partaking in.
Now.
Oh, is it?
I was
3.2. Oh,
well,
okay.
you got.
Yeah, interest went up, by the way.
Yeah,
it started at 2.8
for a $50 fucking.
Yeah, I keep seeing articles pop up and they keep updating on like what it is or whatever.
And to kind of branch off of the energy of everything that was just described, the events that how it unfolded really spoke to how I didn't even want to go into January 6th. And the whole reason why I went is because I remembered what happened on December 12th. And I was like, you know what? I really feel like I need to be there with some other guys, other leaders too, just to ensure that we really keep ourselves out of any potential issues that we could be in control of. That was the whole intention of me being there, and to make sure that we can, have a good time, a fun time. Guys from all over the country are showing up for, and being led properly with everybody else that was, walking hand in hand with me that day with Joe. And, obviously Enrique was, shipped across to Baltimore, where we refer to him as the Baltimore benchwarmer.
Oh, fuck yourself.
But it really spoke to like the first couple hours of us on the ground, January 6th. We were really, situationally aware of everything going on. If anybody was in our group that was infiltrating, I don't know if you guys want to go into January 6th right now, but
Not yet.
Okay. So I'll dial back from there just to speak on how we were preparing for January 6th as a result of what happened on December 12th.
Yeah. So,
can you bring that Baltimore bench warmer? Can you bring that picture?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
We need.
I think it's this one.
We need to.
I'm gonna make you a logo right now with that name.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we need.
I'm collabing with the Bizarre Art and Pixar right now.
All right, on the screen.
Oh yeah, so that's the guy. That's the guy that I saw get stabbed right in front of me. Like I was just off to the side.
If you look to your right, you see the guy in the plate carrier and the gloves. That's me.
Yeah, I could tell by how white you are.
Listen, it was fucking December, dude. I'm not out in the sun. And this woman right here, though, the blonde. I'm people can't see me on the screen, but the blonde woman in front of me is the one that grabbed him and spun him around.
Huh.
Yeah, women are always making the best decisions in chaotic environments where violence may ensue.
And then I remember me, Biggs, and Ethan led a charge to Black Lives Matter Plaza, where we were met with the cops standing in front of us. And
I think Big said a prayer or something like that when we got to that line. Remember that?
Yeah, I got up and gave a speech and talked. Everybody took a knee, and I told everybody, I gave an update on, what we knew so far, and said that we had some guys that were really seriously injured, and it was very heartfelt, and it was a hard day, like that my soul was really hurting, just to see that kind of shit happen. And still, we're the ones that are demonized, and we're just out there trying to fucking get, people to understand that these people are the problem and that law enforcement's not doing their job. And it shouldn't take a bunch of us, to come out there and get people to see this. It's I literally do have dreams about that day a lot.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing that those cops kind of held us back, because I know a lot of us were full of rage at that point.
Well,
Ethan was inconsolable at that point.
And you see it in the pictures. This was before the banner. This was before the Jeremy thing, and the two other gentlemen that were stabbed. We'd always, and this wasn't a new thing for us, like if we're walking up to a police line, we won't go face to face with the cops. We'd always have like a 15-foot buffer between me and like us and them on purpose. Like we don't want to put that stress in either parties.
Well, we don't want we also don't want to give the left an opportunity to say, look, these guys are getting in their face, and look, these guys are really, they are the problem that we said they were. We keep that separation for a reason, so people understand that we respect that boundary. We're not there to impede what they're trying to do. We're just going, hey, do your fucking job, and it shouldn't be us here. Like, just step up and do your fucking job. Put your politics aside. There's people that inhabit and live in this city that are burning it the fuck down. No one's boarding up DC when the Proud Boys come, but when there's going to be a fucking left wing protest turn riot, everybody in there is worried whether or not they're going to lose their business. The only thing you have to worry about is if you're a business owner, is if you have enough fucking beer, because we're going to come drink it all.
Yeah. And we've been known to drain a beer, entire bar.
We've drained the swamp,
and we tip
for
well.
beer.
Yeah,
we tip well too.
but you guys drink like shitty beer though. It's not like you
when
drink
it's
like
per metric
IPAs
ton,
or anything.
it's
You
like,
guys like fucking
Did you say
Budweiser.
IPAs?
You say
Ew,
IP gay?
gross.
Yeah.
I said you guys don't drink. I
Dude,
I don't drink at all.
Yeah, exactly, gay. Come on,
So,
man. Like,
but I'm actually see what's this racism here? I said that you
Called
guys
you gay.
don't drink
This is
IPA,
gay as a
and you
race
guys
now.
jump my fucking
But
bones
you
right
said-
here.
No. You said
what is this
you're-
fucking
I
Austin,
go, you
Texas?
guys don't drink
know,
expensive
right.
beer. You guys drink cheap beer. It's not like you
Because
guys
we're
drink.
drinking like
IPA.
30 gallons. We don't really want to. It's about quantity. It's not quality when it comes to beer.
So
Sorry.
after we survived that night, it was a lot to really ramp everybody down.
Take in, yeah, and
Well, the
So-
MOSD had already been established.
no, not yet.
Oh, really? I
No,
thought,
it was
I thought
after.
December 12th we were in the workings of it. No,
No.
that was January.
No,
12th.
this happened. This is what happens after the stabbings.
A couple of
And
weeks.
then when Trump puts out a tweet saying January 6th,
Be there,
it's going to be wild. And that's
Right.
when we all kind of started making calls going, all right, well, maybe we got one more DC trip in us. Let's see what we can do. And this time, let's focus on, we got to step up our game as far as security is concerned, because after the stabbings, we're really concerned. Like, I was scared to have another event kind of just because I didn't want to see other people get hurt. And so we really took it extremely serious. Like, our meetings were always about how we're going to protect each other, what we're going to do to wear the certain kinds of gear, to make sure that, everybody's got lists of people in their family that we can contact if something happens. We were trying to learn from the mistakes that were made in that last rally.
On the ground communication was also a big thing that we were really harping on.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So
because we tried and we failed really hard.
in conclusion to December 12th, we learned a lot of things, right? And one thing that scared the shit out of me is like all the new guys were very aggressive. We couldn't control them. They were all over the place. And we knew that we had to change the way that we did things, right? Because somebody was going to end up getting hurt, right? And people got hurt on December 12th. So the name hadn't come up yet. And I had a little meeting with you guys and I'm like, look, we need to figure out how we could, stop all the Proud Boys from showing up in one place and start bringing in people that were not aggressive, people that weren't fucking nuts, right? All right.
I'm glad we're.
I get these fucking yawn spells. So what we came up with was like this specialized group that just were rallies, because it was really the same people going to these things, right? It was me, Ethan, and Biggs going to fucking Portland and Austin and things like that, and then like different people from across the nation would be going. So I'm like, okay, we've never had a problem with this guy. Let's bring this guy in. And I had to figure out a way to do that through the organization, which was really tough. And we had guys that got mad at me, right? And I'm going to name drop right now. People like Brian James, right?
Fuck him.
That went ahead and told me that I'm a piece of shit because I was leading our guys away from Antifa that night, right? We had about 2,000 to 2,500 people. The biggest group of BLM and Antifa was like 200 people. It would be irresponsible of me to go point 2,500 dudes
And then
plus
get
a
to
whole
elect
bunch.
exactly what they wanted.
Yeah, like somebody's going to get hurt, and that's not what we wanted. We never wanted that. So,
Well, let me interject. If that group of 200 people was attacking some Trump supporters, that's a different
yes,
subject.
Oh, yeah.
all together, then fucking full speed ahead, gung ho, let's
Right.
go.
Let's just make that clear.
Right, but if they're just standing in a corner, if we're actively looking for them, if we find it, if we're walking down the street and we find it, we're going. I don't care what size any of the group is, and usually we're always outnumbered.
Yeah.
And somehow
That's my
they
experience.
turn into paper targets, So what we did is we established that. I had a meeting, with the Shane Lamond, like the morning after. And he was like telling me, he's like, look, some of your guys were really aggressive. Some of them, fucking we need. And then that's when we had already started communicating this. And then we're like, moving forward, let's do this. So we decided on a name, and we decided on Ministry of Self-Defense. It was just something that I put out there as like a temporary thing until we figured out a name, and then it kind of just stuck. It was funny. It sounded like Mossad, and it made sense.
We're definitely gonna get fucking
It made sense, but in a way it didn't. It's like the Ministry of Self-Defense. Like, what the fuck is that? It's a play on the British Ministry
also just-
of Defense.
And then also just the stabbing, like we're this from here on out, we're going with a defensive posture and working on safety. I mean, I thought it was a fucking perfect name, and it will go down in the history books for all of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes a cool logo. Me and Ethan are wearing our Ministry of Self-Defense shirts. We're matchy.
Department of Proud Boys.
Yeah, Department of the Proud Boys, United States Department of the Proud Boys.
That's pretty sweet.
But and it also it's a psychological thing too, because if you start off with a name that says self-defense, right, you got a good starting point on where to point the guys. And that's exactly what we did. After that, we created it. We put a group chat together between all of us. We started picking our individual. I feel like I'm in prison again with the Post-it notes.
Yeah, well, old habits die hard. That's just for when we get into basics.
So we started picking our guys, right? And we picked pretty calm guys. And we also picked like there was a push by the Brian James crowd that wanted to come in. So we kind of pushed them to the side. So there was a political aspect within the Proud Boys too.
Brian James here.
Well,
Brian James here. Jewish Congress.
What people don't know is that with Enrique picking the leadership of the MOSD, and then those guys were entrusted with bringing other guys in that were trusted, that were shown to can handle themselves, but not hotheads.
Still have their strengths.
Seasoned rally goers, or whatever you want to call it.
Aren't going to go headhunting, guys that are, but still capable of taking care of business if business comes their way. And it was, there was the security side of it and the PR side of it. There was two different groups within the MOSD.
It was put into the two groups were called marketing and operations.
Marketing and operations.
Right. So like PR. The marketing would be like, all right, hey, we need to go into DC and do this. And the operations would kind of put it together, right? And we'd formulate a plan, right, to get the most optics that we can. Because number one was safety, right?
Yep.
The second objective was message, right? How could we effectively get our message out? Whether it's to make more of us or to promote something or whatever the case may be, right? So we got like level-headed dudes that put it together, and we actually had a video meeting about it, a Zoom call, which was recorded. And I remember the reason why it was recorded, right? Because we couldn't fit so many people we used StreamYard, right? And we couldn't fit so many people into StreamYard, so we private live streamed it on YouTube so we could have other members comment and have their questions and bring them in. And you know, in that Big spoke, Ethan, I don't think you were. I think you weren't there that day, or were you?
Mhm.
On the
Zoom
video
call?
call?
No, he was not in that one.
You know, and Biggs was there, you know, telling the guys, you know, like these are the issues. This is how we should operate. You know, we should always think about safety first, you know, while promoting our message to its highest degree possible while maintaining that safety. You know, and I laid out a whole bunch of things. I laid out that we're going to respect, you know, orders from law enforcement. We weren't going to jump over a police line because I did see that level of aggression on December 12th. We weren't going to do that. You know, and like everything that you need to know is in that one, I think it's like an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah. Do you remember what you asked me when we were going through?
And then and Biggs does the video.
I just sent you that.
I'm going to put it up.
Yeah.
I definitely need to play
And
that.
just to add a little bit of context, like at the time there was kind of a divide in the club as far as January 6th. A lot of guys didn't think we should go. They like, this is a false flag, that we should not be going.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of an in-fight situation that I mean, even in my own chapter, you know, I was talking to my guys at Seattle chapter at the time, you know, asking if some of them wanted to come with me. And you know, some of the guys pulled me aside and like, "Are you sure this is a good idea, man? Like, I just don't see that this is going to have a good outcome." And again, I fall back into the whole reason. It's like, look, I know a lot of other guys are going to be there, so I feel like I gotta go. You know what I mean? As a result of what happened on December 12th, and so this wasn't a club stamped event. It was a very you know, it was a tricky situation coming out of what we had gone through the last time we were in DC, and trying to figure out logistically how we were going to do a successful event at an event that was projected to be pretty freaking large, and the intel that we were getting suggested that there was going to be a lot of Antifa. So it was a tricky, you know, situation to plan, and we went into it not really knowing how many guys were going to show up, how many Antifa was going to be there, what law enforcement was going to do. And so, you know, we did the best.
I was
Yeah,
contemplating not even going. I mean, there
right.
was some
Yeah.
there was some times that I was just like, man, after this last event with what happened, you know, but then everybody started going, hey, we're going. And the same thing like with what you said. I just couldn't live with myself if something happened to one of our guys, if Antifa stabbed and killed someone or shot him or anything like that, I wouldn't be able to live with myself. So, you know, that's what motivated me to go, not the fucking certification of the stupid election or anything like that. Had nothing to do with anything like that. It was literally, you know, I know my training. I have medical training, military training, and all that. I was like, you know what? I wouldn't be able to like sleep at night if I did not go, you know, and be there with my family. So, you know, I went,
Yeah.
and you know, we all know how that turned out.
Yeah. There's not a whole lot of people, especially at the boy. There's not a whole lot of people at that time in the club that had, I guess, the notoriety for the club as a whole to follow, or that, you know, were in a position with the experience in the rallies and stuff. And we're all a bunch of alphas. So it takes a lot of time for us to have that kind of respect for each other. And so I think for, you know, as far as Enrique and Biggs and some of these other guys in this MOSD, we felt like, you know, if we don't go, there's going to be a slew of guys trying to take control and go this way and go that way. And this guy wants to go, you know, attack these people. And this guy wants to go. And it's just, it was the scenarios in our head wasn't really putting together a good picture if we weren't going to show up. And so that was, I think, the motivation behind why a lot of us went, just because we knew our guys were going to go there, despite whether we went or not.
Well, here's another thing. People think that it was like this fucking sneaky plan to not wear colors, right? There was multiple reasons why we didn't wear colors, but the main reason was something that I agreed to with the presidents of the Proud Boys, the rest of the presidents of the chapters, was if we were going to go somewhere, since this chapter was like a separate entity and it didn't have a home, right? if we were to go to DC or again Austin or Oklahoma, it didn't matter. I had to communicate with the local chapter and they would give me the rules of us being able to go there, right? And DC, the DC guys at the time were like, listen, we don't care if you come, just don't come in colors, please. So that was one of the main reasons. There was multiple reasons, but that was one of the main reasons we didn't go in colors. I took advantage of that, and we put out messaging. And I'm going to play this video by Joe, which actually is promoting that message of us not dressing as Proud Boys. But again, the main reason was because
well, that was the thing, though. We didn't want the crowds to know why we were doing it. This was, before we have an event anywhere, what do? We reach out to the local chapter in that area if we're going to hold an event there and go, hey, can we wear colors or not? Because these people live there. They understand the temperature of that area. They know if that it's, going to be too hot. And what I mean by hot means, violent activity with, some of the groups there, whether it be Antifa, BLM, or, RevCom, whatever. So this is a normal thing that we do. We reach out and go, is it cool if we come in our Perrys or not? And, sometimes they go, yes. Sometimes they say no. This is a no one. And so we go, okay, so let's spin this and make it seem like it's a little bit more than that. And this is the video. Me and Enrique talked about doing something, and this is what I came up with right here.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Joe Biggs, and guess what? December 6th, we are going to be in D.C., except this time, and you know who it is when I say we, but this time we're not going to be wearing the colors that you're used to seeing us in.
they played this in court.
This time, myself and other leadership have decided we're going to go incognito. You're going to be walking around. Wait, is that other Antifa? I don't know. Let's bring them over here and hang out, and then you never know. But guess what? We ain't wearing the normal shit we wear. We're going to dress up just like you. And you're probably asking yourself as an Antifa retard, how the fuck is Joe Biggs going to look like one of us dumbasses? Well, it's a pretty easy fix. I just put this goddamn retarded ass fucking mask on. Put on my hair retarded ass fucking helmet like y'all like to wear, which ain't going to matter because we still going to fuck you up. I'm going to put my little hood on. And I'm going to scream shit like Black Lives Matter and down with the system and I don't like hate, but I'm such a hateful person. Guess what, motherfuckers? We're going to look just like you. We're going to be blending in, weaving in and out like a motherfucking old lady with some goddamn pins in her hand, making a goddamn sweater, Roger. So guess what? Watch out. December 6th, you ain't going to know who the fuck it is standing beside you. It could be Antifa. It could be me. Peace.
And then you know how retarded I am because I keep saying December 6th. It's fucking
December
January.
6th. We're coming in December 6th.
You know, they played that video during court, and like
It was awesome.
All of us. Yeah, you said that. You said that when you broke into the Capitol too, motherfucker.
I said, this is awesome.
So we play this video, and like I've never had such a good time during a trial.
Man.
Like they play this video, and all of us bust out laughing. And we're thinking that the jury's gonna laugh with us. We're like, they gotta find this funny.
And they did not.
All 14 of them were dead ass serious, dude. And like the judge is like staring at us the whole time. And dude, that's when I knew we were fucked, when we saw the jury had no sense of humor whatsoever.
You can't not laugh at our discovery. I mean, we had the coins.
God, let's not bring up the fucking coins, man.
We had my drunk video.
Dude, this guy's like cooking. He's like, oh my God. Fucking about to fall asleep in a frying pan.
I mean, it was endless discovery that the jury. And I'm like, if you can't laugh at this, I don't know what you can laugh at, man. For real, like,
it looked like an SNL skit.
Hilarious.
Our trial was a comedy skit.
Yeah, this is some old school Saturday Night Live like trial skit stuff. And I had this idea with Enrique.
Stop laughing.
I've had this idea with Enrique. Just a side note, to like re-skit and like reproduce the entire trial just so that people can see it.
Please.
Wouldn't that be freaking dope?
Dude.
Like, because you can't, it's a federal court. You can't see. You can only see what's been put on the docket. But if you were to re-skit the whole thing, and oh my gosh, it'd be gold.
Well,
there's a reason they don't film it, because if people would have seen that, they would have been angry. Because there was literally nothing there that convicted us. All
Yeah.
you saw were a bunch of degenerate drunk retards acting like degenerate drunk retards, and we're just sitting there giggling and laughing and drawing on sticky notes and shit. It's like
Oh man.
there was nothing
Oh,
there that was concrete. Was like there was never once where I was sitting there and I was like, man, they got something that really looks bad. I kept like every day going, I think we're
artwork.
going to win this. I think we're good.
Yeah.
This is
The
this is
Dominic
slam dunk.
Pizzola artwork.
The what?
So
The Dom Pizzola artwork.
Oh my God! CNN came out with an article. This is hilarious. And again, we're fast forwarding into the court. I mean, I want to end this on January 6th, because we already know the story of January 6th that day. But we were passing, like we were just doing. We were passing Post-its, but we were drawing. Like I drew the prosecutor. I was dumping him into a rocket ship that was going to Mars, right? And Dom had this one where he's teabagging the judge with like hairy balls, right? And like my
He's a good artist too.
Yeah, he's great. He should do art. Well, at the end, my paralegal grabbed him and threw him out in the garbage, and CNN came and brought them out. And,
I was like, does this judge even know what justice is?
Yeah.
That was on CNN.
Yeah.
But sorry, Rob, I interrupted you earlier. I didn't mean to. My bad.
No. It's all
Go
right.
ahead,
It's all
Rob.
right. I just wanted to let you guys know that we do have an X space going, and I want to just go over there real quick to see if we have any hands or any questions, or let people in the space know that if you do have questions, now's the time to request up, put your hand up, and we'll get to you as soon as I either see you or my co-host Drac and Buckster.
How full is that? How full is that space?
I don't know. I can't really see. I think
Okay. We're at two about over a little bit over 2,000 live, so it's a pretty good show.
All right, so we're ending here at the.
Well, no, I guess we'll get closer.
Okay,
Because here's one thing I want to say before we open up for spaces, at least. Like, if anybody would know that there was a plan, right, it would be us sitting right here.
the only plan was not to get stabbed again and not go to jail.
Exactly,
Never-
100%.
Yeah, like listen, and nothing would bring me more joy. Listen, I'm gonna be dead honest, and you guys know me. Like I'm my ego's huge. Nothing would give me more pleasure than if I would have planned it. Then right after we got our pardons and commutations, for me to say "fuck you," I did it. I would do that, and you guys know. You guys know me.
Would.
You know I
how
would
many
fucking.
times
I'd
he
be like,
suggested
we
this?
we planned it. Remember?
In trial, in the middle
Please
of
say
trial,
it.
before we even get our verdict read to us, he's like, dude, what if when we get out, we just say that we just planned the whole thing?
Yeah.
I'm like, really?
I'm like, let's just lie. Let's just say we fucking did it. We're gonna get the
Ride
time
wave,
anyways.
man. Yeah, screw it. Why not?
God, now let's see the fucking articles tomorrow. Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I just I want to just add something to this. Well, three quick things, I guess. One, I mean this when I say this, guys, that for 4 years I have felt guilt. Very few people know this. Enrique does. That I feel like if I didn't interject and Jeremy died, that they wouldn't have had a leg to stand on, because I believe that his testimony was instrumental in putting you guys away for decades. And I fought myself on that for many, many, many fucking years. And 2 years ago, well, actually 3 years ago now, 2022, my son was 13. And I knew that because I had been doxxed on the 12th, that they had gone to my old address in Mass. I had moved out of Mass. And I had never changed my license over. So I know from the people that live there that they got a knock on the door. But I sat down with my son, and I had told him about you guys. It's a very hard thing for a 13-year-old to process. And I said to him, I'm not letting them take me. Having that conversation with my son was probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. But Sky Commander and I are great friends, and Enrique would call him and tell him what was going on to him in prison. And I just wasn't going to have that happen to me. I was going to go out in a blaze of glory.
Yeah.
But the one thing that just really fucks with me and has fucked with me for a long time is the fact that if I didn't step in, you guys might not have gotten the time that you got. And
But we do the right thing and we help people when they're down. So regardless of the fact of it, you did the right thing. So I wouldn't let it bother you, man. I don't hold nothing over that. I mean, we do the right thing. That's what we do as men, and it's.
And here's another way to look at it. Jeremy, at the time, the Bertino betrayal seemed really heavy and like pivotal for the I guess the story that the government was portraying against us. But now, and we know, looking back at it, we were going to be found guilty anyway.
Yeah.
But now we're with Jeremy coming forth and speaking on how he perjured himself. This is actually one of the biggest tools that we could have ever hoped to have. So in a way, and I'm not saying that, justifying what Jeremy did in any way, but in a way, everything happens for a reason. And now one of the biggest components that hurt us is actually one of the biggest components that might help us. So long term, I think you let him live in a funny way of speaking is actually one of the biggest tools that we can use to our advantage. So don't let it weigh on you too much, man.
The government's still not really jumping head over heels to help us, so we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But I mean, we know how it goes. But it's at the end of the day, in a normal world, this would be huge. So
Yeah. And yeah, Rob, you don't got to beat yourself up over it. I mean, look,
I know. I just
there's and I've told you this before, almost on every morning show. You were a target too. If Kamala Harris would have won,
yeah,
you would have you would have gotten picked up or ended in a blaze of glory, like you say.
Yeah, we would have all been jumping the fence.
Yeah,
yeah.
I just know me, dude. There's just no fucking way I was just gonna allow them to fucking come and take me. I wasn't even in the fucking goddamn state, man. I was 700 miles away.
When I was smuggling in fucking cell phones and tobacco into it, and I would watch the drones. Yeah. When the drones would drop, I'm like, maybe if I get a drone big enough.
Yeah, the drones. The drones are coming, brother.
Handlebars, fucking just.
Oh man.
But also the thing is I want to reiterate the point of the MOSD, which was mainly what we were, I wanted to bring out across to people, is that we learned a lot of lessons from December 12th, and that was what the MOSD was for. I mean, I was on the Zoom call that they played in Congress, and it's fucking embarrassing, but funny at the same time. I was telling people what I did in my plate carrier, which was I bought plastic fucking
cutting boards.
Cutting boards.
Yeah, plastic.
Because it was illegal in D.C. You get caught with body armor.
Your body armor, if you're in the commission of a crime, you could wear body armor. But
I mean, we know everything's a commission of a crime.
Everything's a commission of a crime. So I'm explaining this, and then Enrique says to me, "Rob, what was the one problem we had in D.C.?" And I said, "Bitches." And he starts laughing. I got to find the video and put it out there. And I said, listen, man, we're doing Proud Boy things, and it's not a place for fucking women. Women, if they want to go to these things, they should stay at the hotel, blow us, patch us up, feed us, and send us back out to battle. And they played that in front of Congress, and I was like, oh, God.
I mean, the historical archives for this is just like, imagine 100 years down the road.
And they're like, go to jail for saying that women should blow us, feed us, patch us up, and send us back out to battle.
Dude, I was sitting there in jail in solitary. I was in fucking solitary for goddamn ever. But I'm watching that very first J6 committee panel thing.
Oh,
And the very first day, they talk about Trump and me. And I go, well, I'm fucked. I'm like, the very first day, like you talk about Trump and me. And they bring that fucking female cop up. And she's like, oh, yeah, he fucking was fucking yelling at me and pointing at me. And then I go back and see the video. I'm like fucking quarter mile away from this bitch. She's like this small behind me. I can't even see who she is. But I already knew. Like when I heard that, I was like, I knew we're fucked. I was like, man, they're already spinning that story, working that narrative. And like just the shit they came up with. I mean, I told them, I go, I was like, you guys are better at creating conspiracies than Alex Jones. Like these guys are
Yeah.
fucking out of control, man.
Yeah. Rob, is there any hands up in the space?
I can't see any hands right now, but again, the guys,
Okay.
if you do have questions for us, we're here. We're gonna try to wrap this up. With
I mean-
what's next,
Yeah.
and then I guess Enrique is going to take the floor on this one. But if you do have any questions, please raise your hands, and if I see them, I will. I'll let you guys know.
Yeah, just one more, just to reiterate one more time, Enrique kind of touched on it. It's like if anybody were to have known about any particular plan, it would have been us. And this is something I thought about for years while I was locked up, because I was always curious as to why like the DOJ or prosecutors never asked me like what happened ever.
Yeah.
I was never asked what happened on January 6th or anything. And because I was on the ground that day, and again, Enrique was in Baltimore as the Baltimore bench warmer. I was given that kind of authority to kind of lead the crew, right? And so there was this kind of like, well, even if everyone else was kept in the dark, who were the guys who would have actually known the plan? Not Milkshake or freaking what's the scooter guy? I always forget his name.
Eddie Block.
Eddie Block.
Oh God.
Who knew about an actual plan? It's just like, well,
official videographer of the Proud Boys.
right. So Enrique would have known about the plan, but he wasn't there. So who was next? I would have known about the plan. Biggs probably would have known about the plan, right? And never once. I don't know if Biggs was ever questioned about what happened that day, or if you, Enrique, but I was never asked about what happened on January 6th or anything about a plan. So that just goes to show you they had no interest in knowing if there was a plan.
I told my lawyer day one when I first met my lawyer, I go, if they ever come to you, you tell them to go fuck off. I go, if they ever come to you with a plea, I said, you tell them to go fuck off. Unless I'm really hungry and I could get them to give me pizza to have a sit down, I'll eat the pizza, then tell them to go fuck off and they can put me back in my cell.
Right. Yeah.
They never came to me because I ain't got shit to say to you because there's nothing to say because we didn't plan anything. All we do is fucking march around like we always do. So
Right.
I already knew that they were there for blood and they're gonna get there somehow. They're gonna find someone that's gonna fucking cuck and lie, and they were able to find some, and it is what it is. But you know what?
Yeah.
It didn't kill us, it didn't break us, it only made us stronger, and we're gonna grow from this and become better people. And you know what? Fuck them all.
Yeah, they didn't ask me that question, right? They told me what they wanted me to say, which was to throw the president of the United States under the bus. And at no point did they ask me, well, what really happened? They didn't ask me that because they knew what happened. They have all the chats. They knew I didn't open, share, or edit the fucking 1776 returns document. There was a plan on January 6th. We did have a plan on January 6th. And the Ministry of Self-Defense plans for January 6th was simple. We had to speak on a couple of stages, right? And at 1 p.m. when the initial, and I use air quotes, the initial breach happens, we were supposed to be over there by the Washington Monument. Obviously I'm not speaking anymore. So that plan went out the window. But that was the nefarious plan to overthrow the United States government. We wanted our picture taken. We wanted fucking to hang out with the boys. We wanted to get smashed. And then we were going to, at 3:00, and Ethan put this together, Michael Graves was supposed to fucking do like a little, I wouldn't say concert, but he was gonna.
It was the live.
I'm not
it
a
was
musician.
Live music at our Airbnb.
Live music at the Airbnb. He was gonna play the guitar, sing a little bit, you know. And Michael Graves is watching this podcast right now, and you know, and he could tell you he testified in our courtroom. How are we? That was the seditious overthrow the U.S. government was to go fucking party, listen to the fucking Misfits, and fucking drink copious amounts of alcohol.
And his music manager always also in an affidavit, both him and his manager submitted this to the court that this was true. The plan was actually around 4:00 to meet up at our Airbnb, and they were going to play live music. And that was my excuse to get the guys off the street.
What were we going to do?
Yeah,
we were going to overthrow the government and then go.
Yeah, we're gonna mislead our brothers.
A live show
to go listen to some music, but really, brother, we're gonna take over the government.
Wow, that's highly offensive. He just passed away 2 weeks ago.
Maybe it's Randy Savage. I don't know.
It's not Randy Savage. That's even more fucking offensive.
Well, he's been gone for a while.
He's a Floridian. You're a Floridian. Yeah. Jesus, I would expect the fucking Yankee in the room to fucking say some shit that.
I'm insensitive these days.
Fuck off.
Jesus Christ.
We're not going to make fun of him, okay?
Well, Hulk Hogan, he knew too much. So
he did. He had the Epstein files.
Yeah.
He noticed. He started noticing.
And he knew who the CIs were.
He's a brother.
He knew who the CIs were within the Proud Boys. They had to off him. He knew who the J6 fucking pipe bomber was, which coincidentally, by the DOD's own communications person that sued Ivan Reichland. We had him on the show today, and in her lawsuit with him yesterday, because she refiled yesterday, she says that he is the J6 pipe bomber. And with the serious face, no, Ivan Reichland. Stop! You need to stop, bro. You need to stop.
Oh, that's why they took him out.
So, you know, if there's any questions, if you have any hands up, do we have any hands up? I'll get into the second portion.
Okay.
Yeah, and did you see they said that if we took over the government, I was going to take over the education department.
Yeah.
Dude, I'd be fucking straight J-pilling people and fucking red pilling motherfuckers. Like, let me take that shit over.
Instead of the DOE, it's a DORE, re-education. Fucking.
I would have been like the
Department
grounds
of
manager.
Re-education.
Just making sure that the landscaping was done right.
The head of the park police.
Little shits take a seat. First
no,
thing
I already know what you racist ass niggas would do and put me in position. You put me to fucking head HUD.
Like
housing and urban development. That's what you niggas would do. That's what you niggas, you racist ass fucking crackers.
Have them take people's coats and usher them to the right seat.
I'm gonna beat them up.
You see how I play the race? I like change the race
Secretary
card.
of War.
In the beginning, I'm like, I'm not black. And now I'm like, yeah, I'm black. I had.
He's whatever.
Call you guys crackers.
Chameleon. Yeah.
So,
Spiritual.
I mean, that's basically the timeline for the Ministry of Self-Defense, right? Like, it started from the beginning, from the inception of the Proud Boys as a protection group that was focused on protecting people, right? And we continued to do that through January 6th, and that's what we were going to do. You know, also, I was communicating with law enforcement. How do you go overthrow the government? By sharing your plans with the government, and because we were going to get bike escorts.
That's the new logo.
Yeah, there's your new logo.
Fuck you, dude. Please send that to me so I can post it. So you know, how are we going to do that? Because we were supposed to get bike escorts that day, you know, and usually the bike escorts, it's like 75 bikes. What were we going to do? Were we going to march to the Capitol with 75 police officers? There was only 5 cops in front of the fucking on the west side of the Capitol that day. What was I going to increase it to 80 and then storm the Capitol? It makes no sense. It makes no fucking sense. So, you guys got anything else to touch on here before I shift into the second subject?
Well, we got 2 people requesting thing, so I assume that they're going to want to ask questions. But I don't know. We don't have any hands up yet, so go do what you need to do.
So let me go into studio mode really quick. Um, so um, let me before I play this, um, let me give you a little bit of a quick historical here. I met Jeremy
Look at
back
this
in about
motherfucker.
2019, right? And we went to a bunch of rallies together. He was a North Carolina Proud Boy. Um, he was the one that got stabbed on December 12th, you know? And one of the people that I didn't think that would turn, right, would be him, you know? Um, and he ended up turning and he ended up looking us. And I mean, you guys remember this very clearly. He went up on that stand, looked us in the eye, and like lied through his teeth. And he was very, very good at it, you
And he
know?
said he loves us.
And then he said he loves us, which I bring up in the interview with Jeremy. I bring that up also. I ask him a bunch of times about that. And, you know, I was very meticulous on the questions that I asked. You know, I put up, he met with the FBI. As we know, he only met 3 times because that's what the DOJ told us, that they only met 3 times. I find out through this interview that he met with them 15 times, times off the record where they coached him and they coached his testimony. They also lied to him, which in the government's filing yesterday of Nicole Miller, they said, no, absolutely not. He didn't. She never lied to him. She lied to him. She told him that I authored the 1776 returns document. I confront him about that. I didn't put these clips together. This first one, Ethan, you could help me out here. This was the first meeting, right? I'm just going to play this clip. So I'm going to play 3 snippets from the interview that airs tomorrow at 7 p.m. It's exclusive to my Substack right now. So in order to watch it, you have to subscribe to my Substack.
Before you play that, we do have a hand.
Okay, go ahead.
That first.
Biggs, are you able to see both screens?
Buck,
Or
I
just
see a
one?
hand, but I can't see who it is.
I only see just
One
right
screen.
here, the one thing here.
Okay.
Drax. I see a hand, but I can't see who it is.
It's Reno, man. Here's Reno.
Reno, go ahead.
What's up, boys? Good,
What's
good
up,
to
Reno?
see you guys.
What's
Thanks
up?
for telling your story.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll get to see you real soon.
Hell yeah, buddy.
Guys, if you guys, if you guys are interested, you guys should definitely go watch that interview tomorrow. It's gonna be it's a great interview, and it's really good to hear your stories, boys. And I'm glad you guys got to have church in jail. And
We did. We
love
did
you,
it
boys.
3 times a week.
Love you, boys.
Love you too, buddy. Uhuru.
Uhuru, bro.
Proud of your boy. Second hand?
No, I just see the one hand.
Okay. All right. So this is the first clip from my interview with Jeremy.
I'm gonna grab a beer.
This is entitled First Meeting because he's detailing his first meeting with the FBI shortly after. And just to give you some context, his house gets raided the same day I get my door kicked in. And he decided to go meet with the FBI and what he says is he wants to basically clear the record and say that we didn't plan anything. So here I am confronting Jeremy on this. What did you say in that first meeting?
Tell the truth, man.
What's the truth?
No, we didn't plan anything. The MOSD was created to keep us safe, keep us from getting arrested, keep us from getting in trouble, keep us from, just to keep our group under control. Because when there's a large group of people, you get that mob mentality, and so many wild, just normies were storming off left and right on, December 12th. And it was designed, to keep us focused on our goal of protecting people and protecting free speech and getting our point across to, of how we felt about the election results. And that was it.
Were you being honest?
100%.
Okay. Did you meet with them again?
Yeah.
So you guys, and that's why it's important that we walk through the January 6th timeline all the way up until January 6th. And I ask you, I ask you guys and I ask the public, what you heard him say there, is it any different than what you've heard in the past 2 hours of us being on this broadcast? The answer is no. The answer is no. That's exactly, he said the truth on that first meeting with the FBI, right? But as we said, he met with the FBI multiple times. As he meets, there's 4 key moments that we know about, and also I go into the ones we don't know about, but it's meeting number 1, which happened at the beginning of April, and then another one that happens on June 8th, the following month, and then another one on June 22nd, and then it hops into his trial testimony where he testified for the government, right? It's a gradient. The first one was completely honest. If you read the 302s from the FBI, he's saying everything that we just said, right? And you can't get 4 people to say the same exact story. If it's a lie, there's going to be 4 different stories. It's slightly different. There was no difference in his first interview with the FBI. But as he got into his second interview, you could tell the pressure was on. The first interview with the FBI lasted 1 hour. The next one only lasted about 15 or 20 minutes because the FBI, they weren't really getting what they wanted from him, but the story was already changing. He goes from no plan to, we were angry and there was communication. Then the third one, he says, yeah, I could see that there's a plan. And then when he testifies, and I'm going to quote him, when he testifies and sits there and looks us straight in the eye, he says that we were ready for all-out revolution, that we were ready to do whatever it took to keep Donald Trump in power. So how do you put all 4 of those together, and how do you get from step 1 to step 4? The only way is if you're pressured. I'll let you guys discuss this while I
Well, I just want to say this. We're a brotherhood, right? So if someone tells you that your brother's lying, do you just believe it? No, you're not supposed to. I went into that. I go into every situation knowing that you guys are my family. And I know that the FBI can lie to you. They can say whatever they want to get you to do whatever. Everybody knows that the FBI uses this trick. They say that so-and-so's already flipped on you. I mean, if you've ever watched a fucking movie where there's an interrogation, they show you what they do. And that's literally what happens. The fact that no one, like, he didn't get that, it still blows my fucking mind. Because they could have came in and said to me, oh, Enrique's already fucking saying it's you. I'd be like, fuck you, dude. I doubt it. No way. It's not going to happen. I don't give a shit. And my first lawyer was like saying, well, you got to get ready. What if they start flipping? I go, oh, okay. I was like, I'm sure they're going to tell you that they're saying that, but I'm not stupid enough to fucking believe it, And to me, it's just like, how do you just like sit there and like, these people are corrupt, the FBI, and that they can lie to you. And you're like, oh, so Enrique, tricked me and got me to go do this thing, and I'm looking at all this time. Like, no, you look at that Fed and you go, fuck you, dude, eat my ass. Like, I don't get the mindset. Like, that's what breaks my heart. Like, it's like, really? Like, you let them fucking trick you that easily?
Yeah,
Come on, man.
Well, it's beyond tricks too.
Yeah, I think we're giving them too much credit for being tricks. He was getting hemmed up on a fucking gun charge that would have put him away for a very long fucking time, dude. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Well, here's the thing.
He should have manned the fuck up and dealt with it.
Yep.
The gun charge wasn't going to give him a lot of time. Well, it depends on what you consider a lot of time.
Felon in possession.
Yeah,
it's
they
like 5 to 10.
It's the 922.
I think it's mandatory 5.
No, that's the 924. So the 922 on your first offense, you'll get anywhere between like 2 to 5 years, right? Maybe that's a lot of time for somebody. I don't know. But regardless of the fact, I mean, listen, and I asked him in the interview, I don't want to give up too much of it, but I asked him, what were you pressured with? And there was multiple things, but one of the things that, everybody says, and this is The government does this often. Well, they tell him that he's going to do 20 years. So I asked him that in the beginning of the interview, but at the end of the interview, I asked him, well, if they were pressuring you with 20 years, what do you think that they were pressuring me with? Right? Because I got 22 years, but that's not what they were fucking wanting to get out of me.
They wanted to get us 36.
They wanted to go, yeah. And in the beginning, they said that you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison, meaning, you know, a lot more than 22. So I asked him that, you know, what do you think they were pressuring? Oh, with a lot. Well, what did I do? You know, what did Biggs do? You know, when given that choice, he didn't turn. You know, I didn't turn. Well, I meant Biggs, but you know, at no point when I got arrested, at no point, right? Because I didn't have communication with Ethan, Biggs, or anybody else. At no point did I worry about Ethan, Biggs, or really anybody else, because I'm like, these are solid dudes. They're going to go to trial. They were ready to go to trial, and we went to trial
for 6 months.
Yeah. So somebody said, and I don't know if anybody caught the reference, but Prisoner's Dilemma. If you don't know what that is, you should Google it. It's kind of a game, and it kind of pits people, friends against each other. It's extremely interesting. But I'm going to play the second clip here, and this clip is references to his plea, right? And before I play it, I want to tell you that I want to go back to that first meeting where he was completely honest, and he says he was honest. When you plea out, you say, I'm guilty. And he pled guilty to seditious conspiracy. So you have to sit in front of a judge and you have to tell him, I'm guilty. I did this crime that you're accusing me of. So let's go ahead and play this clip.
Too sure as to what was happening, but I believe that was it.
Why did you plea out, and why was what you said in the first meeting with them different than what was in your statement of facts that you pled guilty to?
Because I was presented, here's what you're going to plead to. Here's what we're going to accept. Here's what you're going to plead to. And if you don't, here's what we're charging you with. And here's the mandatory sentences that comes with it. And we're going to put your ass away for 25 years.
Okay. Mandatory sentence. Those other meetings. Mandatory sentence. So already either his counsel is an idiot.
Was retarded. Yeah.
Because there is no mandatory sentence in this case.
There's a maximum.
There's a maximum, and the maximum is 20.
I don't think in those particular charges he had a mandatory minimum.
No.
And
no, none of them.
Well, that's how they treated us too. You know, the news would come out and say these guys are facing up to 20 years with all of our charges combined, up to 40 years. You know what I mean? And that's not how it works. You know, even though they did, even though for our case they did give us, Enrique, they gave him over the maximum.
I mean, is it really? I mean, listen,
which is unheard of, really.
Listen, you guys got 17 and 18. Is it really a big stretch to 22?
For your ego, it is, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Look, listen, hold up.
You gave them 17, 18, and 22.
So I'm going to tell you something.
They
Patrick,
gave me 22 years.
I was going to say Patrick Dempsey. So Isaiah Washington would have killed me if I would have said that. But David Dempsey, which is another J6er, when they were asking for like 30-something years for him, I was like, for number one, I was praying that he got a very small amount, a lot less than 20. But like part of me was like, I hope he doesn't get more than 22.
Yeah, I know.
He can't beat me.
Of course.
You know? And he didn't, you know. Even somebody that was there, you know, that witnessed it and did things like got 20. I got 22. And I didn't even get to be there. I can't even, like when we're in the pod, these guys are hanging out with each other, like telling like war stories. Like, yeah, I was in Nancy Pelosi's desk and I was snorting lines off her desk. And yeah, I was in the East Capitol. I don't even know what the fucking names are. And like, I got to sit there with my hands crossed.
I'm the Baltimore bench warmer.
Yeah.
What was it like, guys?
What was it like? Was that cool?
Hey, do you guys want some water? You guys thirsty?
I know them. I know them. I'm part of their group. I know them.
So let me Rob, can you? Oh no, I got it. I got to put it in studio mode. But yeah. So I just want to get your guys' thoughts on like this plea deal and this bullshit that's here.
Wow, I mean, I'm not surprised at all. That's how they that's how they come at everybody with every, especially in a conspiracy. A lot of people don't realize there's a lot. They use conspiracy charges against people a lot. Whether you know them or not, whether you're in a group or you're not, they go for somebody who's kind of unconnected to like the heart and soul of whatever friendship or group. They go for the weakest link. They go for the guy that maybe doesn't have that kind of camaraderie, and they break that dude. Because it's like they tried it with Dom, and much to Dom's credit,
that's why I was smiling.
right? And they could, and being in Dom's position, I could see him being a better candidate than Bertino, just because he was so new.
He was brand
and
new.
a lot more to lose, right?
Oh yeah,
he was a fresh first degree like 2 days before December 12th.
Yeah.
Look, when the government has no evidence of the crime that they're trying to charge you with, their go-to charge is conspiracy. Whenever you see somebody 9 times out of 10 with a conspiracy charge, that means the government didn't have a fucking leg to stand on, and it gives them more leeway to stretch things and make things that really aren't bad seem bad, and it's a fucking bullshit fucking thing. Like I met so many people in prison with conspiracy charges. It was ridiculous. A guy had a conversation on the phone with a dude who just happened to be a fucking drug dealer and was also a fucking informant. And the guy got fucking roped into some drug conspiracy. And he wasn't even talking about drugs on the fucking phone call. I read the transcripts. This government is so fucking out of control. We have no justice. The judges are fucking corrupt. The prosecutors are fucking gay. And I mean that literally and figuratively. And then, it's just, they're all fucking demonic pedo worshiping faggots. It's one big shit show. America is not the fucking, greatest in when it comes to shit like that. We are fucking far from it. We're corrupt through and through, and it's all about politics. It's they don't give a shit. I don't know how many people I met in prison who are innocent of murder. And it even showed that they were innocent, but the judge just didn't want to continue on. So he fucking threw that guy in jail for 30 years. Yeah. I mean, it's just like, it depends on the mood. Our judges have too much power. And it's just, it's disgusting.
Well, here's another take on conspiracy too. That is another downfall to conspiracy is you get a lot of these, like, let's just say, cartel leaders that are actually putting out massive amounts of weight of fentanyl or whatever. And they have this, what they call a fall guy. Some schmo that's like, maybe he's buying drugs or maybe he's selling it to his friends, nothing crazy. And this conspiracy folds out and these top dogs work together in cahoots against this fall guy. And the fall guy ends up taking 35 years and these guys get 3 or 4 years of a slap on their hand and they go back to business.
Yep.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So it's not even developed properly to get the guys who are actually, the perpetrators in the conspiracy. It actually can be used against some schmo that had nothing to do with anything, and so it's a faulty charge at its base.
This last clip I'm going to play has to do with grooming, right? He says multiple times within our interview and in his deposition that they groomed him and they coerced him. So after his first couple of interviews that we knew about, he also had off the record interviews, which are illegal, right? Is somebody playing it on their phone?
No.
I'm getting a little bit of feedback.
I'm getting feedback too.
Okay.
Nope.
So what ends up happening is these off the record meetings are highly illegal. Reason being, when you are a defendant in a case, right, you need to be provided all the evidence, right? So let's say they were to meet in private, because we don't know what happened. Besides, what Jeremy is telling me, I don't know what happened. What little he told me within that hour and a half. If Jeremy were to be asked a question during that and he answered in the positive for us, right, exculpatory, right, in a fashion that could impeach him if he lies, we don't have access to that. So we can't question him when he goes on the stand, to what happened in that meeting, right? So every meeting with the FBI or the prosecutors, there either has to be a stenographer present, or it must be recorded so we could get transcripts and listen to the actual audio or video of what's going on. So in this clip, Jeremy's detailing that grooming and bringing that on.
Hey, what, you know, do you know who this is? Do you know who this is? Do you know who this is?
When you say grooming, right? Did they train you in what to say? Did they coach you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, just a
They taught
small
you,
sample
and
size of it. It was. We're not going to use the word plan. Plan is not the focus. We don't want to use the word plan. We want to use the word goal. What was the goal of the Proud Boys that day? You know, they would take the smallest little thing. You know how they do, man. They take the smallest little thing and twist it into something different. And how they're going to present it this way. We're going to flip it on its head and present it this way so that it sounds a lot worse than it really is.
so goal, plan, right? The reason why he's groomed and being coached on what to say is because if he actually says his version of the events and he uses a word plan, we could use it to impeach him. We could use it to say, well, where's the proof? We didn't see you talk about a plan in these chats, because they didn't have a plan in the chats, right? In the group chats, in the leadership chats between us. There was no plan. And then you weren't texting like your wife and telling her there's a plan. You weren't texting with personal friends and there was a plan. You know, those are questions that are needed to be asked. So therefore, they're grooming him. They're grooming the words that he's using because they know what's coming, what questions are going to be asked by the prosecutors. He even details that he had sessions where some of the prosecutors would pretend to be our attorneys, and they went through court transcripts of our attorneys and seen how they present before.
Well, they did such a good job, an adequate job of these choices of words because they were planning around the lack of evidence.
Yes.
That's essentially what
exactly.
Yeah.
There's no evidence, so they need to make up the evidence by twisting his words.
Yeah.
Right. And, you know, is that just like I asked the people watching this, is that justice? Right. That you go ahead and you bring a witness in and the witness is like tampered with. That's witness tampering. You know, that's 18 USC. I think it's a 1512. It's a version of the 1512. It's witness tampering. You're sitting there and you're instructing a witness and you're coercing a witness to say certain things that he wouldn't say normally in a natural conversation.
We weren't questioning Jeremy Bertino. We were questioning a fluffed up version, a prepared version according to, you know, what the DOJ had prepared him for. It wasn't, and that's versus how he was being questioned in those interviews by the DOJ. That's a more organic response, you know, an emotional response where he was unemotional, prepared, ready, as if he was, you know, trying out for some role in Hollywood. Like he was ready, and it wasn't organic. It wasn't emotional.
We were, let's say what it is. The witness on the stand was a prosecutor.
Yeah.
Right. Because that's what we got. We didn't get Jeremy. We weren't questioning Jeremy. We were questioning a prosecutor because that's what he was groomed to be. He was there to. They stuck their hand up their ass and they made his mouth move exactly how they wanted. They knew exactly what to make him say. So it's not like we were getting the honest truth on the stand, even though he went above and beyond, and he lied. We were against. I mean, it's the longest.
We weren't
trial.
getting Jeremy from January 7th.
Yeah, we weren't.
You know,
like
and that's what we needed.
Imagine putting him in a cryo chamber, and then fucking unfreezing him and putting him on that stand.
Yeah.
That's not what we were getting, and that's what we're supposed to be getting. So why didn't they tell us about these meetings? Why didn't Nicole Miller or Jocelyn Ballantyne, which I'm going to tell you right now, are still employed by the FBI and the DOJ.
And they're fucking evil.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, how many meetings did he have versus
15.
15 meetings, and we were told 3.
That's not including the actual pretend sessions where they put him on a stand and they question him, and there's somebody pulling up objections. So there's 15 besides the 3.
God, could you imagine going through all that, like, with those prosecutors? Oh God,
disgusting.
Oh, can you just one more time? Just okay. So I'm going to ask you this question, and I want you to kind of answer like this. And can you take your clothes and next time we have him wear? It's just like I can only imagine, dude.
I mean,
all these fags.
Listen here. Look, and I'm gonna
cornering you.
I'm gonna make fun of Jeremy for something. You know, a man can never own a tan suit. I mean, if you're
make fun of him for fucking a tranny, but
yeah, well, that's a whole other ballgame. But
that's episode 2.
The tan suit might be higher, might be worse than.
Well, I mean, look at his coaches. You know, and he's just following their lead. You know? He's one of the prosecutors.
And in the video, I don't press him on this. In the video, he has what seems to be a Rolex Presidential. Oh. So, what were you saying about trannies?
Well, I said we all know that he fucked a tranny. He fucked a MAGA tranny at that.
So much better.
Listen, the truth fucking hurts. You bang.
We're here trying to say like serious shit.
That just goes to his fucking character.
I know.
It's like sitting here having a serious conversation, be like, what about the tranny?
Well, he fucked a tranny.
I'm sorry, folks.
Him and Chris White.
Oh, we're bringing Chris White back.
We're bringing
him
Chris
back.
White back. He's going to be part of the
No, we are.
City
I don't want to hear anything about it.
Yeah.
We need Chris White back. Yeah. He's going to save the club.
And we're bringing back Matt Walters. I'm going to get so much shit for saying this right now. I'm bringing back Nada. I'm bringing them all back.
Nope.
WCW is back, baby.
I'm bringing back fucking Bobby Pickles.
NWO.
And we're putting him in the New Hampshire chapter.
No,
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I'm the fucking HNIC up here, motherfucker. He ain't coming into my chapter.
He ain't coming into my chapter.
HNIC, head nigger in charge. That's me, motherfucker. All right.
Man. But on a serious note, you know, it was, and I say this again, it was really difficult for me to do this and stay, you know, neutral without like, and you catch me on the morning show.
And a tranny fucker.
Like I don't smile a single time. I don't crack a fucking joke. It was a very stoic and like it was very monotone, which is not normal, you know, because I'm trying to go through my list of questions. I'm trying to, and just like anger consumes me as I'm going because it just like this, the person in front of me on the camera is a person that I won't even say helped put me away for 22 years, who put me away for 22 years.
I don't even like fucking seeing him.
Ethan for 17 years, Biggs for 18, you know, Zach for 15, Dom for 10. And, you know, this case doesn't just affect us, right? Because the takeaway from this interview isn't just like our case and what he did. It isn't about Jeremy.
They took my daughter's father away.
Yeah. The story happened to 1,500 other individuals, right? And this story also has happened to many others in the prison system. So the story here is about their methods. You know, the real secret and the real takeaway from this is like their methods, how they accomplished their goal, how they lied, how they manipulate this justice system, this lady justice that's holding these two scales and she's blindfolded because justice is supposed to be blind. So basically what they did with Jeremy is they blindfolded him, they put those two scales on, and then they turned him around, flip that up, and they're like, this is what you're going to see. And instantly he moves the scales. The scales of justice, what we were taught in civics class is a lie. You know, coming into this, I had like some Like most of us watch court TV, right? And that's like the most that we know about the court system. So when I get arrested, I'm like, well, I didn't do anything. This is easy. It's not easy.
Well, yeah, especially in DC as well. And, because at the end, when we got our convictions, my lawyer actually got a call from other federal prosecutors from other districts that said that they apologized for, what happened. And they had a huge lack of faith in the justice system after that point.
Yeah. And I kind of want to address what Reno says here. And then he went into witness protection. Do you guys remember in court when we were questioning the witness protection? Right? Were you guys convinced that he was in witness protection? Because they said it in front of the jury.
I think they said he got
So-
it was twice he had to be removed.
I think he said he requested or something. I don't know. I wasn't paying
Yeah.
attention, man. I didn't give a fuck. I already knew I was getting fucked, so I didn't care.
Yeah. So he wasn't in witness protection. They just paid to relocate him and they gave him money. Basically, they gave him money for this testimony, which is another issue on its own because he didn't have to move. He says that Antifa was doxing his home. His home was doxed.
Antifa would probably suck his dick. They're probably happy.
No,
Why would they go after him?
yeah, and
That's amazing.
so exactly like that's the logic behind it. Like, why would Antifa go after you if you just helped them take down the entire leadership of the Proud Boys? Here's another thing. They take down the leaders of the Proud Boys, right? Like the loudest voices. I wouldn't say leaders because we don't have executive privilege over the guys, but like the vocal leaders in the group, and they take it away, and our organization still thrives. That just shows you that there's not this hierarchy that they presented to the jury. It doesn't exist.
I had to look up what a Rolex president is.
Presidential.
Yeah. Presidential, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is.
I love Rolexes. Just
of course you do.
Rap videos made them horrible. They're a very classy thing. They've actually held
Movado.
No, Movados are good. Yes,
I get Joe on that one. I got a Movado upstairs.
No, I like Rolex. It's not like Bentley or Rolls Royce that like they've catered to like, that demographic, but Rolex is like they've maintained their style. They haven't gone overboard. You can't go and buy a Rolex, a fucking entire diamond encrusted Rolex, because they don't make it. You need a jeweler to make it.
Dude, the beach at River 8 told me that Brian James ran the Proud Boys and not you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Brian James does run the Proud Boys. They should, and they got their website up, isn't it? Proudboys.club.
Brian James, yeah.
Yeah, and wasn't Proudboys.club made like in 2020 or something like that, or 2022?
And Jake Fagmo there.
Yeah,
brother.
Oh man, they're gonna hate me for that. What just happened to my screen? Wait, what just happened? My lights went out.
Drone, can I get the floor for a sec?
Who are you?
Go ahead.
Drone, Kentucky Gray Ghost.
Oh, what's up, Gray Ghost? What's up, buddy?
Go ahead, Drone. Drone, are you there?
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we hear you,
Charlie.
Yeah. Dan Wilson is still in prison. He got sent back on April 2nd. We're pushing 150 days. He's been in 146 since getting his pardon. Don't know if you guys know who Dan Wilson. He goes by Live Wire on here.
Yes. Yeah, we speak about him on our show in the morning.
Yeah, very big advocate for all J6ers. Donated probably plus $20,000 easy. Donated people's funds and stuff, security, going into attorney fees and a commissary. He's been stuck back in prison. Talked to him Saturday. Says he feel like he's being forgotten about. We've got to raise some awareness. He was one of the biggest voices to getting, I know most of the people in this chat, J6ers, J6 advocates. He was one of the biggest voices on getting you guys out. Out of our immediate group just here in Kentucky, we've had 9 FBI visits. We've had 3 of them sent to prison. We still got Dan left in there, so just don't want to leave him out.
Yeah.
We've got to start raising awareness, get him out. And that's all I wanted to say. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Grey Ghost.
Yeah, thank you. Man.
I had the
That's
pleasure
right.
of
Fuck
meeting.
the standard.
Yeah, fuck the standard.
Standard
I had the
facts.
pleasure of meeting Dan Wilson. Oh, the pleasure of meeting him, not in those circumstances in Oklahoma in Grady County as in transit. He was released and brought back on a 922G. Pretty much felon possession, which I believe is illegal. There should never be a thing called felon possession. So on my profile, you guys can read a hashtag. It used to say free Tommy. Now Tommy's the River Raid's coming up in October. It used to say free Tommy, but Tommy Robinson has since been released, and now it says Dan Wilson. So go ahead and share Dan Wilson's story from there, guys. But back on this subject, I don't know what atonement looks like, and I'm not going to even begin to talk about atonement. But like Ethan said, everything happens for a reason, and in this case, we were going down regardless. That jury didn't give a fuck. The government could have opened their case without an opening and would have been like, hey, these guys are the Proud Boys. I rest my case, Your Honor. And we would have been on defense for 6 months, brought all the witnesses, without the witness intimidation that they did with Lieutenant Shane Lamond. And we would have still been found guilty. I wish the president would have just pardoned the 1600 instead of making some commutations. But if his testimony in a deposition and his written affidavit and this interview that I have with him exonerates all of us, all 5 of us, then I tell you that at this point, then because an exoneration is better than a pardon, right? I tell you that is a godsend, and we have to thank God that happens. We don't have to thank Jeremy or anything, but it is a crucial step in getting Biggs's veteran benefits back. It's a crucial step in getting Ethan's record erased.
Gun rights
back.
Mainly, I need my passport so I can get the fuck away.
Wait, how do you know you can't get your passport? I didn't know that.
Yeah. I haven't even gotten anything back from the FBI. They told me to go fuck myself. They have everything.
You mean your old passport? Go to the passport agency. I know Vietnam. Is that where you want to go? Love you a long time.
No, dude, fucking Colombia or goddamn fucking Argentina. Actually, I'm going to Argentina. I'm gonna buy a certain famous person's old villa.
Let's go.
That's awesome.
I'll go with you.
Westfest 2026
in Argentina.
That's George Nada's chapter, isn't it? River Raid, the Waffle House.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what the administration and everything does. The DOJ, with this upcoming stuff. I'm curious to see.
I mean, they're already going to deny our thing. We're fucked, man. I don't have no hope in this country anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this, bro. Who the hell is this guy that puts Trigger City as the best chapter ever? Not anymore, motherfucker, because look who's sitting in front of me.
That's not even.
Gotcha, bitch.
I'm not.
Crush Go Crusade.
And I'm so happy. One thing I'm happy about for Ethan and Joe is that they moved to Tennessee and they found like a very nice place to leave.
Yeah, we live in Nashville, and I actually am roommates with goddamn, I can't remember on Morgan Wallen. What we do is we get drunk and hang out on the rooftop bars and throw chairs off.
Oh, I thought we weren't supposed to talk about that. Yeah, so
whatever.
Yeah,
everybody knows now.
Sorry,
come find me in Nashville.
Yeah, I'm flying out to meet with Biggs and Ethan when they go back to Nashville.
And Morgan.
Oh, we have way more fun out there than we do here. So
Yeah.
you're
I
probably not.
bet. I doubt it. We live in the best city in the world. As long as you don't go to fucking New Hampshire.
We live in the best city.
Shut up.
Everybody knows that we're really cool down here.
Listen, I live
I
in the
still need my
freest state in
coins
the
back,
country.
dude. I need my cute Dick Squad coin. They have all the good ones. The FBI, I fucking hate them.
Yeah. And to Paul, if you're listening still, God. God.
It's good. Well, I got that one. That's a capital, the Proud Boys capital coin right there. Money.
I'm getting
All right.
everybody's
All
been
right.
helping me get back in my game. I'm getting, every time I go to a new, different meet, everybody's been cool and getting me
sounds
new
like
ones I never had.
He sounds like he's in the casino. He's like got the poker chips.
I know.
This is for my next post. If I say something nice about Israel, I get paid. Yeah.
Oh man!
$20.
All right.
Brought to you by
$20,
APAC.
right?
Well,
All right.
anyways,
Sponsored by
so-
APAC. Yeah.
So now we're just talking shit.
Well, it's hard not to. We can be serious
we
for about
went-
5 to 10 minutes, but that's about we're not very endurance.
we did 2 hours of pretty kind of serious,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
good for us. So now
Yeah,
it's time to
it's unheard
talk
of.
about. Now it's time to talk about. Never mind.
This fucking guy, dude.
Fucking
This fucking
Jim.
guy, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Every day that goes by that they don't fucking make my life better, I get more fucking extreme.
I know.
Yes.
Well, wait, hold on. If you get a pardon or this is exonerated, will you
No,
get
I've already
less
become
extreme?
no, I've already gotten here. It's
There's no
fine.
going back. It just keep. But will it stop?
No, it's going to accelerate.
side.
Like I said, it starts when I move to Argentina and buy a certain someone's old house.
Yeah, we were trying to be good.
Well, maybe when we beat the government, we use that money to go to Argentina.
Well, I'm going to use that money to buy Pinochet's helicopter that they were, using to teach commies how to fly.
You think that? I'm guessing one of those Chilean helicopters are still around.
Yeah, they got to be. And if not, fuck it, dude. I'll just say that I got one.
Do you think they got new equipment?
Can we if we win this, when we win this lawsuit, can we at least like pitch in and divide it by 5 and buy one helicopter?
Yeah.
Well, it can't be like the one that the dude in fucking California, like, yeah.
The Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't want one of
In other
those.
words, they were selling pieces of that helicopter on eBay and they arrested like everybody that was selling it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, John Mellis has sent us all a text. We need to check it out right now.
All right, John. I'll check it like 4 days from now. So
No,
Rob,
I do not have a Gibson Go. You can't. The government does not allow you to donate money to me.
Yes.
Well, actually, it's not the government. It's the black church. So if I were to create something, they would just fucking go straight in and Gibson Go would cut and give them the money. So
Yeah, but you could get Joe to Westfest by just buying his flight.
I mean, but still, if you guys want, you can just mail me a check.
All right.
69
Rob,
cents.
let's start,
We're the poor
let's
boys
start
for real.
wrapping it.
Yes, absolutely.
I wanna I guess I'll give these words to Biggs and Ethan, and then I'll go, and then Rob, you close out your show.
Thanks for watching. All right.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It's our Lord and Savior.
Prolific.
Anticlimactic.
Yeah,
I think at this
statement
point,
from Joe Biggs.
it kind of has come to the point where like we all kind of like not despise, but just loathe the idea of talking about January 6th continuously. These new details coming out with Jeremy Bertino kind of spike a new interest in, making sure that at least people, some degree of the public, can become aware. So that's justice enough with the non-justice that we've gotten. For me, at least, I'm happy with like at least some people seeing, okay, yeah, this is fucked up. And so I'm like, okay, as long as everybody just understands how fucked up this is, and if I'm not going to get the justice that I deserve, a pardon or any kind of, acknowledgement as to what happened, whatever, is at least a certain degree of people that I actually care about knowing no, and that's kind of where we're at, which is kind of a sad take us to like, the final draft of all this stuff that we've been through. But that's just kind of where we're at. Joe kind of talks on it, hits on a little bit is just like our hope for actual justice is kind of pretty much dwindled this to none.
Yeah.
We gotta figure out how to put our lives together after all this, and we've been doing the best we can, and it's been difficult, but we're men and we're gonna figure it out. But as far as expecting some sort of actual justice to come from it, I mean, we'll see. But I would, if I was a betting man, I would say that probably not.
Yeah.
Despite this huge, I mean, just what we've said, there's a mountain of evidence that we haven't even shown you guys. Just from what we said, I think, if you have a solid head on your shoulders, you would probably come to the determination that this is messed up at best.
Yeah.
At worst, it's egregious. So, we're going to keep fighting the way we fight and keep living our lives and be positive about everything. And we're going to build this brotherhood, and we're going to keep building businesses and families, and we're going to keep doing what we do best. So, appreciate everybody who's continue to support us, and we're black pilled as hell.
Hey, I got a new surfboard though. That's cool.
Yeah.
Dude, it's
No, we got to get into kiteboarding, bro. That stuff's amazing in Tennessee.
What kiteboarding? What is that?
Tennessee kiteboarding, baby.
I knew somebody was going to say it. Ugh.
I got an instructor.
You noose it? Jeez.
You noose it. It's fucking guy, dude.
Man, that's his Bubba Wallace joke. My bad.
I'm voting for Gavin Newsom in 2020.
Yeah, accelerate.
Gavin
accelerate 2028. So look,
fucking what's her name? Marjorie Taylor Greene and fucking Thomas Massey 2020 fucking 8. Let's go.
Oh man.
That might accelerate it much faster.
You know what we need to do is start talking to the Turk,
the Young Turks.
Turks
guys, stop
and just muddy the waters
you're just
as
like,
much as possible.
You just turned on Biggs right now.
Chink Turk. I was no. Shut up. I was there when. Shut up. I was there when fucking when Alex when Chink spit on Alex.
Yeah.
That shit was crazy.
Well, I think all three of us were here when we fucking bullhorn Cenk into fucking submission.
Yeah, that was great.
But
I think there's a lot of people out there that we can talk to from other sides of the aisle where this kind of situation, whatever, if it's January 6th or something else, for any topic that you might want to come.
You put me on that show, I'll turn it into a fucking circus.
Dude,
it would be great.
Table goes
It'd be great.
Up and down.
Oh man. Well, that'll be all, folks.
It would have been cooler to say you have an elevator. Oh wow, no hands. He's pressing the button with his dick. It's under the table.
Dude, it's a Tesla table.
All right, so let me close out my portion here.
Oh God, here we go.
So I really appreciate you guys because look, even through like we're here like making jokes and like I know a lot of people didn't. It was only us 5 down there in the catacombs of the DC jail, and like no matter what, like how bad the time was, I could tell you that I had a good time with you guys, right? And like if that would have happened to me alone, I can't tell you what would have happened to me at that point. But I'm happy that if it had to happen, that it happened with you guys. Because in most cases, in most conspiracy cases, if you have 5 co-defendants, all 4 of them are going to turn on you. And in this case, we had a pretty good ratio, and that tells you the kind of men that we attract and we magnetize towards us. People like Rob, people like Barry, and a lot of the other guys that we enjoy and we've made memories with, from the beginning of this shit. So I appreciate that. I think in order to open your eyes into our world and what we went through, watching that podcast tomorrow would give you a peek into that world, and it would also give you a peek into how our government actually operates. That flag that sits behind Biggs during this podcast, has a lot of meaning, but also, like during that time, I'm not going to say the flag lost its meaning to me, but it did lose a little bit of meaning to me because that system that our forefathers created, that vision, hasn't existed for a long time. Rob's a big advocate for the Second Amendment, and like it doesn't exist anymore. I have it hanging right behind me, and
Not for me.
that paper doesn't exist. In modern day America, and it's a beacon of hope, yes, but like our government is where the problem is, and I'm sorry to say this, like I can't hate them enough for what they did to all of us and what they continue to do to us. Prime example, what happened yesterday. We got the guy in office that we wanted, right? But yesterday proved how big the machine is. Even with our guy in office, like the machine's still fighting us and says that everything that they did to us was correct. So I encourage you guys to watch that podcast tomorrow. Go ahead, go to noblelead.substack.com and take a look. And you'll see what your government does to its citizens. And you know what? If this DOJ doesn't get its shit together, we know what's going to happen in 2028 if they steal another election. We're all going to go to prison, including like the people watching this. You guys will hang with us, and we'll be sitting there eating our bologna sandwiches, making fucking jokes, and drawing our prosecutors and our judges on Post-it notes while you're crying, because we've already been through it. But that's the future. That's the unfortunate future that we have if we don't do something about it. And like posting on the internet isn't enough. So, Rob, thank you for having this, and thank you for suggesting this. Like Rob called me on Sundays, like, "Hey, you know what we got to do? We got to go through an outline of what actually happened that day." And I think that a lot of people tuned in and saw, and was able to go through. And we're not just J6ers. There's a story behind it. There's a story about how we got here. So again, Rob, I appreciate you for having us on your show today.
Well, I want to thank my brothers for being here today. And I know you guys have talked about this ad nauseum. I also know that it's hard to bring up all of these memories. And I'm fucking honored to call you guys brother, man. Honestly and truly. Hooroo.
Hooroo.
Yeah, the thing about it is the second you say you're a Proud Boy, people are kind of like, oh, we just can't take those guys seriously. and the truth is, you're not supposed to. We weren't ever supposed to take it seriously. We just wanted to hang out and be, and it's the connotation of being a Proud Boy, especially now. I mean, at one point we truly were rock stars of the conservative movement. And, now everybody's like, oh, because even the people that were supposedly on our side really weren't there for us in 2020 and 2021. And we're more than just a group of idiots. We're fathers, we're husbands, some of us want to be wives. But the thing about it is, and for me, I want to try to correct the image or the false image of what actually happened. And the only way to do that is to talk about where it started. And this was important to me to be able to afford you guys the opportunity. Not that you don't have the opportunity, but to be able to talk to my audience, because there are a lot of people that, ask me questions all the time. And, I want to, I can only speak for myself and my experience being in the organization now almost 8 years. But I wanted you guys to tell your story. And I'm honored that you guys did, again, you didn't have to, and I know you're tired of talking about it, and you just want to move on with your lives, and I understand it. So it means a lot that you guys are here. So thank you, boys.
Uhuru.
So I'm not going to have a show tomorrow, which is my normal time, 5 to 7. We'll be back on Friday. I'm taking the rest of the week off. It's the week before my son goes back to school, and I haven't done anything fun with him all summer, so I'm going to be doing some shit with him tomorrow and Thursday, and Friday. Friday, my guest is going to be Joe Exotic.
Right.
So yes, the Tiger King is going to be my guest on Friday. I think
Isn't it the Tiger Queen?
Well,
Oh, he's going to be pissed off when he gets out. When he gets a pardon.
He's a cool dude.
Yeah, that's actually kind of surreal for me to interview Joe Exotic. Like I remember watching the thing, and I was like, oh. And yes, I want to clear something up right now because Reno is on a fucking tear. All right, and I want Joe and Ethan and Raph.
Did you forget my fucking name?
No, I was gonna say something else, and I was like, no, I can't say it.
Rafna.
Yeah. There is no such thing, ladies and gentlemen, there is no such thing as a Proud Boys den mother.
I don't agree.
You don't exist.
I don't agree.
This is a men's club. Women have no place in it. Stay the fuck
disagree.
out. Yeah, that's because you need to get laid, but you know what? I don't. So you fucking goddamn cuck. There is no such things as fucking den mothers. We don't have den mothers. We don't need women in our club. We don't need you. This is a men's club. We do men things. Stay the fuck out of it. Mind your business.
Yeah, we go riverboat gambling and fucking we make beef jerky and shit.
That's right.
Yeah.
Play Call of Duty and say cuss words.
Serotonin expert says
Hose, motherfucker.
she's pointing this comment at you that you don't need to get laid.
Everybody says I do need to get laid and chill the fuck out. But yeah, all right. So Friday, guys, I think it's tentatively scheduled for 11 a.m. I'm not 100% sure. I'm actually talking to Joe right now because he might actually have longer time. What is
I just don't want to. I think I should keep you on the screen till the end of the show.
Why?
I think I want to keep you on the screen till the end of the show. Here he goes. I already know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna do this, and then he's gonna move the camera. Of course he is. Oh God.
Oh, I love you fuckers. All right, so listen, I'm going to announce all the actual times tomorrow. Please, take a look at it, share. We're going to be doing a space along with it, so you guys can ask questions of Joe Exotic, and I'm looking forward to it. Other than that, I want to say everybody have a great fucking night. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Do I close with the intro?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do that.
And this is the Warboy Studios signing off. Stay in the green room, guys.
Copy.